Phoenix Nights. Chapter 2237. Lin Feng could vaguely make out something crawling out of the world scar. His face was filled with shock and astonishment. He didn't know what it was. He could only vaguely make out a black shadow. That was because a black fog had wrapped around the thing that was crawling out. Lin Feng hurriedly took out the 9 demons painting, the 5 dragons wheel, and the Vajra wolf-tooth club. The 9 demons painting was an emperor weapon. The 5 dragons wheel was an immortal weapon. Although it was incomplete, it was still an immortal weapon with terrifying power. The Vajra wolf-tooth club was a top-grade bronze weapon. Of the 3 treasures, each one was stronger than the last. He didn't know what that thing was. Therefore, Lin Feng was on high alert. Finally, that terrifying creature crawled out of the world scar. Because the black fog had blocked Lin Feng's vision, Lin Feng opened the heavenly demon snake's eye. The heavenly demon snake's eye pierced through the black fog. Lin Feng clearly saw what that creature was. It was a pitch-black bug. It should have had 36 claws, but now it only had 12 left. The other 24 claws were all broken. Moreover, there were many wounds on that ugly bug's body. Many of those wounds were leaking a faint green liquid. Lin Feng guessed that the green liquid was probably the bug's blood. That ugly bug must have been severely injured. Did that bug come to the 9 states through the world scar? Lin Feng's expression turned grave. Any bug that could pass through the world scar was definitely not simple. Although the bug had suffered near-fatal injuries, Lin Feng still felt his heart palpitate. "We can't stay here for long. Let's go," the Demon Lord said in a deep voice. Clearly, even the Demon Lord felt that the bug was troublesome. Lin Feng nodded and quickly rushed outside. However, that pitch-black bug had already set its sights on Lin Feng, said the gigantic black insect while staring at Lin Feng. From time to time, its eyes were filled with killing intent. Whoosh! It quickly pounced towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng felt as if the surrounding void was about to solidify. The pitch-black insect was too terrifying. Even though it was heavily injured, it still gave Lin Feng a feeling that it would be difficult to contend against it. Under the pressure emitted by the big bug, Lin Feng couldn't even muster the will to resist. This was because the big bug's cultivation level was too high. It had already formed a pressure on Lin Feng. Lin Feng guessed that this big insect had probably reached the boundary Emperor realm. However, when it crossed the world scar, the black bug had suffered a near-fatal injury. Its combat strength had greatly decreased compared to its peak. Lin Feng hurriedly circulated his epic hegemony. When he unleashed his epical haki, he felt that he had regained his mobility. Although it was heavily injured, the big bug's speed was still as fast as lightning. It closed the distance of several thousand meters in an instant. It only slowed down a little when it encountered Lin Feng's epic hegemony. Lin Feng hurriedly controlled the 9 demons painting to attack the big bug. The big bug's claws suddenly swept out. Lin Feng's 9 demons painting was swept away. Then, the big bug charged towards Lin Feng again. Lin Feng held the Wolverine mace with both hands. With a loud shout, he smashed it towards the big bug. Bang! The attack landed heavily on the big bug's body. The big bug was unscathed from such a powerful attack. At the same time that Lin Feng smashed the big bug, one of its sharp claws swept Lin Feng's abdomen, sending Lin Feng flying. Puff! A tearing sound was heard. A huge wound appeared on Lin Feng's abdomen. It was dripping with blood as if it was cut open by a sharp blade. Lin Feng lowered his head to look at his wound. His expression became extremely solemn. The big bug's strength was too abnormal. It was already heavily injured and on the verge of death. It even displayed such terrifying combat strength. If it was in its peak state, wouldn't it be able to kill him in an instant? The only fortunate thing was that the big bug's current condition was extremely bad. Screech! The big bug let out a sharp and ear-piercing cry. After seeing blood, it seemed to be even more excited. The big bug let out a series of low growls and quickly charged towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng quickly retreated. He was thinking of a way to deal with the big bug. The big bug's combat strength was too strong. Furthermore, his cultivation base was limited. If he wanted to kill the big bug, it would not be an easy task. Lin Feng looked at his other Dharma treasure. Immortal weapon 5-wheeled dragon. With Lin Feng's current cultivation, he was still unable to activate the 5-dragon wheel. However, if Lin Feng burned 1 or 2 million years of his lifespan, he could activate the 5-dragon wheel. The 5-dragon wheel only needed to release a portion of its power. Lin Feng guessed that he could kill this big bug. After all, no matter how strong this big bug was before. But now, this big bug was already heavily injured and could not exert much of its combat strength. Although burning so much of his lifespan made Lin Feng feel extremely pained. But if his lifespan was consumed, it could be replenished as his cultivation increased. Moreover, the great longevity technique could also increase one's lifespan. But if he lost his life, then he would really be finished. Lin Feng smashed the Wolverine mace at the big bug through the air. Immediately after, he then controlled the 9 demons painting to attack the big bug. At the same time, Lin Feng began to burn his lifespan to increase the power of the 5-dragon wheel. Now, Lin Feng used his ability to multitask to deal with the big bug. Lin Feng instantly burned 1,000,000 years of his lifespan. Chapter 2238. Buzz! When the big bug attacked Lin Feng successfully activated the 5-dragon wheel. The 5-dragon wheel immediately shot out a terrifying killing light and swept towards the big bug. Bang! The killing light from the 5-dragon wheel collided with the big insect, and suddenly, there was a muffled collision sound. This time, the big bug was sent flying by the 5-dragon wheel's attack. After seeing this scene, Lin Feng's spirit was greatly boosted. The 5-dragon wheel was indeed powerful, as expected of an immortal artifact. Even though the 5-dragon wheel was only an incomplete immortal artifact, when the 5-dragon wheel was activated, it could still display shocking power. Lin Feng's confidence was greatly boosted. He began to control the 5-dragon wheel to take the initiative to attack the big bug. Screech! The big bug roared angrily and quickly pounced towards Lin Feng. Its eyes flickered with a bloody light. A large amount of black mist surged in the big bug's body. In the black mist, ugly bugs appeared one after another. The group of bugs that appeared in the black mist were not real. They were formed by the big bug's divine ability. But their attack power was abnormally terrifying. Lin Feng's expression did not change. Facing the divine ability attack formed by the big bug, he was still controlling the 5-dragon wheel. He burned 2 million years of his lifespan to strengthen the 5-dragon wheel. The 5-dragon wheel should be able to be controlled for a period of time, and this period of time was the best time for Lin Feng to kill the big bug. If he could not grasp this opportunity, it would not be easy to kill the big bug. Bang! The tyrannical attack shook the void slightly. The insects formed by the giant insects were all shattered into pieces. Lin Feng, who was controlling the 5-dragon wheel, had an aura that said, "No matter how many spells you use, I will break them with one treasure." Crack, crack! Suddenly, the big bug's body began to grow. It did not grow much. The big bug's body became as big as a mountain peak. And the big bug's aura. It also increased by many times. Seeing the mutated big bug, Lin Feng could not help but feel shocked. Even after suffering such a serious injury, the big bug was still able to transform. What a freak! After its body enlarged, the big bug became even more ferocious. Its sharp claws stabbed towards Lin Feng. The 12 claws looked like 12 mountain ranges as they moved towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't dare to hesitate when he felt the terrifying attack of the big bug. He hurriedly activated the 5-dragon wheel. Whoosh! Whoosh! Light flickered. The 5-dragon wheel shot out beam after beam of light towards the big bug. But to Lin Feng's dismay, the enlarged bug was able to block Lin Feng's attack. The 5-dragon wheel could only be used for a limited time. He estimated that it wouldn't be long before its power dissipated. The fact that the big bug was able to block the attack of the 5-dragon wheels was a very bad situation for Lin Feng. Lin Feng knew that things were going to be tricky, so he decided to burn another 1 million years of his lifespan to enhance the 5-dragon wheels. Moan! A high-pitched dragon roar resounded. Inside the 5-dragon wheel, the image of a dragon appeared. The dragon's shadow roared. Then, it pounced towards the big bug as fast as lightning. When the dragon's shadow appeared, the big bug let out a series of terrified cries. "The power of an immortal weapon!" Lin Feng couldn't help but cry out in surprise. The dragon's shadow was the real immortal power. The big bug wanted to dodge this attack, but its body was too huge. It wasn't easy for such a huge body to dodge this attack. Bang! The big bug was directly hit by the dragon's shadow. Its head split open and dark green blood flowed out, emitting a strong stench. Lin Feng attacked 3 times in a row. The big bug was killed. Its huge body fell towards the storm valley. After the 5-dragon wheel released 3 dragon shadows in a row. Its power also weakened. It became dim and lightless. Lin Feng let out a long breath and put away the 5-dragon wheel, 9 demons painting, and Wolverine mace. "This big bug can be refined into a puppet avatar." Lin Feng couldn't help but narrow his eyes. With a wave of his right hand, he wrapped up the big bug's corpse and quickly left the storm valley. A day later, in a cave abode 500 miles away, inside the magic god furnace, flames were burning fiercely. Lin Feng threw one precious material after another into the furnace from time to time. All the materials were melted into boiling hot liquid. Then, they mixed together and emitted waves of violent fluctuations. After fusing more than 800 kinds of materials, Lin Feng threw the big bug's corpse into the furnace. There were more advanced methods to refine puppets, and there were also ordinary methods. Lin Feng obtained the method to refine the big bug from a storage ring, but Lin Feng didn't know whose storage ring it was. After all, many experts had died at his hands over the years. Lin Feng had many storage rings on his hands. It was difficult to distinguish the owners of these storage rings. It took about 3 days. The magic god furnace emitted a ferocious aura. After sensing the ferocious aura, Lin Feng's eyes lit up slightly. Obviously, the big bug was about to be refined successfully. That was why it emitted such a ferocious aura. Another half a day passed. The magic god furnace opened. A big bug that was pitch black but emitted a dark golden luster flew out. A pseudo-emperor puppet! Lin Feng looked at the big bug puppet in front of him and couldn't help but reveal a pleasantly surprised expression. The only flaw was that the big bug puppet's body was incomplete. However, it was difficult for things to be perfect. Lin Feng was very satisfied with this big bug puppet. He put away the big bug puppet and then began to operate the 3rd layer of the 8 and 9 Mysteries art. After breaking through, Lin Feng still hadn't familiarized himself with the 3rd layer of the 8 and 9 Mysteries art. He could take advantage of this opportunity to familiarize himself with it. Time flew by. On this day, a loud rumbling sound resounded throughout the entire 9 mysterious realm. Everyone was alarmed. Even Lin Feng, who was in the middle of cultivating, was alarmed. He walked out of the cave where he was cultivating in seclusion and saw the space-time gate floating in midair. "Time's up," Lin Feng muttered to himself. Then, he soared into the sky and flew toward the space-time gate. "Why did it end so quickly? I still want to stay a little longer." Many people immediately sighed and groaned. However, the time for the 9 Mysterious Realms trial was up. Even if they didn't want to leave, they had to leave now. Whoosh! 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 Many figures flew toward the space-time gate. When all the cultivators came out, the space-time gate disappeared and the 9 Mysterious Realm closed. Chapter 2239. Lin Feng was standing in the middle of the public square and glancing around. He could sense that the atmosphere was filled with killing intent. "People from the Yen clan?" Lin Feng frowned slightly. He had killed so many experts in the 9 Mysterious Realm, so the Yen family should have known. Therefore, Lin Feng didn't find it strange that the Yen clan's people were waiting outside. However, the Yen family would not make a move in the underground city. As the deputy city lord of the underground city, there were many taboos in the Yen family. If they wanted to make a move on Lin Feng, they would probably choose to do it outside the underground city. Shwa! A screen appeared. The underground city lord appeared on the screen. Everyone! Congratulations on successfully completing the cultivation in the 9 mysterious realm. I hope you have all gained something. Everyone can rest for a day. Tomorrow, the underground city will activate the teleportation array and send everyone out, the underground city lord said. This made many people very happy. Outside the underground city, danger lurked everywhere. They did not want to go out again. Taking the teleportation array was naturally the most convenient and safest way. Then, the screen disappeared, and so did the underground city lord. However, Lin Feng had a very strange feeling. When the leader of the underground city disappeared, Lin Feng had the impression that the leader of the underground city was looking at him in a profound way. The underground city lord's body was covered by the screen. Lin Feng could not see the underground city lord's eyes clearly. However, the feeling just now was very clear. This made him a little puzzled. What was the underground city lord trying to express by looking at him deeply? After the underground city lord disappeared, everyone left the underground city square and returned to their own residences to rest. Although he was targeted by the Yen family, Lin Feng did not take it to heart. Now, he had refined a pseudo-emperor puppet. This pseudo-emperor puppet was Lin Feng's greatest reliance and confidence. Hence, he was not afraid of the Yen family. If the Yen family recklessly came to seek revenge, they would only be courting death. On the way back, Lin Feng was surrounded by a group of cultivators. A fierce-looking cultivator looked at Lin Feng fiercely and asked, "Kid, do you still remember me? Who are you?" "I don't remember you," Lin Feng said indifferently. The corners of the fierce-looking cultivator's mouth twitched violently. He felt as though his punch had landed on cotton. He said with a sinister smile, "The Northern Icelands, the lost world." Lin Feng scratched his head and said, "It's you! You're tearing up when you see an old friend. You want to be a good host and buy me a drink, right?" The fierce-looking cultivator rolled his eyes speechlessly. This kid's head wouldn't be damaged, right? Did he think I would treat him to a drink? When the cultivator saw Lin Feng's half-smile, he was furious. He knew that Lin Feng was making fun of him. "Kid, how do you want to settle the score?" said the ferocious-looking cultivator looking at Lin Feng icily. He looked like a fiend. Lin Feng said, "You're talking about me robbing you." Thinking about this, the fierce-looking cultivator felt depressed. He had always been the one robbing others. That was until he met Lin Feng. He was actually robbed by Lin Feng. Thinking about it now made him very angry. The fierce-looking cultivator kept this matter in his heart, waiting for the day when he could take revenge. He didn't expect to meet Lin Feng in the underground city today. The fierce-looking cultivator was so excited that he almost cried. The heavens really have eyes, letting me meet this kid. The fierce-looking cultivator thought that Lin Feng would be afraid, but when he saw Lin Feng's indifferent expression, he knew that Lin Feng didn't care about meeting him again. Wasn't this looking down on him? This made the fierce-looking cultivator extremely angry. "You know about this? Now that you're in my territory, have you thought about how you're going to die?" The fierce-looking cultivator suddenly laughed sinisterly, looking at Lin Feng as if he was looking at prey that had fallen into a trap. In his opinion, even if Lin Feng had 3 heads and 6 arms, he wouldn't be able to escape today. Lin Feng said indifferently, "When old friends meet, shouldn't you cry 1,000 times? Don't fight and kill, okay? Damn, who's your old friend? Don't you have any shame?" The fierce-looking cultivator was almost speechless. This guy was too good at getting close to people. Lin Feng said, "Since you're not my old friend, I'm officially informing you now. This is a robbery. Hand over all the treasures on you." The ferocious-looking cultivator and his companion were stupefied. They stared at Lin Feng with their mouths wide open. What was this guy saying? The group of people looked at each other. "What are you waiting for? I'm going to rob you, didn't you hear? Hurry up and hand over all the treasures on you," Lin Feng shouted loudly. "Isn't that Zhang Yuanlong?" This guy is using his brother-in-law as a steward of the city lord's mansion to strut around outside. Yeah, but no matter how unhappy he is, he can't offend this guy. The consequences of offending this guy are unimaginable. That kid is surrounded by Zhang Yuanlong and the others, and he even said that he's going to rob Zhang Yuanlong. I wonder if he's crazy. He probably doesn't know Zhang Yuanlong's identity and will be in trouble soon. Many people were pointing at the situation, watching the development of the situation. Kid, you've got guts. You actually dare to be so arrogant in my territory. Kill him. Zhang Yuanlong waved his hand. Suddenly, 40 to 50 cultivators around Zhang Yuanlong pounced on Lin Feng. These people. Many of Zhang Yuanlong's friends. The other group of people were the guards that Zhang Yuanlong and his friends brought out. Because of Zhang Yuanlong's brother-in-law. So many people wanted to curry favor with Zhang Yuanlong. So Zhang Yuanlong gave the order. A group of people pounced on Lin Feng. Actually, they wanted to curry favor with Zhang Yuanlong. They're making their move. That kid is going to be finished. Many people couldn't help but exclaim. Swish. At this moment, Lin Feng also made his move. He rushed into the crowd and punched out one punch after another. Bang, 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 a series of violent collisions rang out. One cultivator after another screamed miserably as they were sent flying by Lin Feng. Many people fell to the ground and screamed miserably. In the blink of an eye, dozens of cultivators were all lying on the ground. Isn't this too savage? The cultivators who were watching the show were all dumbfounded. This was simply a one-sided battle. Who was that young cultivator? He was actually so powerful. Robbery! Hand over all the treasures on you! Lin Feng looked down at the fierce-looking cultivator from above. Chapter 2240. Lin Feng had a faint smile on his face, but that smile looked like the smile of a demon. You! The ugly-looking cultivator was so scared that he started to speak incoherently. So many people attacked together, but they were all suppressed by Lin Feng. There were quite a few peak heavenly god cultivators in his group. What cultivation level did this guy have to have such abnormal strength? Do you know who I am? The ugly-looking cultivator wanted to make a final struggle. He wanted to use his brother-in-law's reputation to intimidate Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng obviously didn't fall for it. Lin Feng said indifferently, I don't care who you are. Hurry up and hand over the treasures on you, otherwise I don't mind chopping off your arms and legs. The ugly-looking cultivator's face turned pale. A wise man knew better than to fight when the odds were against him. He could only hand over his storage ring. When the others saw that the ugly-looking cultivator had handed over his storage ring, they also handed over their storage rings to Lin Feng. Although they were incomparably depressed, they had no choice but to lower their heads when they were under someone else's roof. After Lin Feng took all the treasures, he directly left. Let's go and find my brother-in-law. The ugly-looking cultivator was very unwilling. He angrily roared and went to find his brother-in-law. Outside the city lord's mansion, the ugly-looking cultivator told his brother-in-law about how Lin Feng robbed him. The ugly-looking cultivator's brother-in-law looked to be in his 40s, of course, his actual age was definitely more than that. After listening to the ugly-looking cultivator's words, he asked about Lin Feng's physical characteristics. The ugly-looking cultivator described Lin Feng's physical characteristics. His brother-in-law's face instantly changed. Brother-in-law, when are we going to deal with that kid? The ugly-looking cultivator couldn't wait to ask. In his opinion, as long as his brother-in-law was willing to act, Lin Feng would definitely die. Who would have thought that his brother-in-law would go up and slap the fierce-looking cultivator, causing him to be in a daze? Brother-in-law, why did you slap me? The ugly-looking cultivator asked in confusion. Bastard, you only know how to cause trouble outside. Don't provoke this person, otherwise I'll skin you alive. The ugly-looking cultivator's brother-in-law said fiercely. The ugly-looking cultivator said, Brother-in-law, isn't that kid just an ordinary person? Do we have to be afraid of him in the underground city? The ugly-looking cultivator's brother-in-law said, Not long ago, The city lord personally summoned Vice City Lord Yen and told him to restrain his family members and not provoke that kid. What? There's such a thing? Does that kid have a grudge against the Yen family? Why would the city lord give such an order? The ferocious-looking cultivator said in disbelief. I don't know. So, if you want to live, you'd better behave yourself. Otherwise, I'll personally kill you. The ugly-looking cultivator's brother-in-law coldly. Yes. Brother-in-law, I'll remember. The ferocious-looking cultivator said submissively. After returning to his residence, Lin Feng realized that the Yen family's people who were watching him had disappeared. This made him very puzzled. Why did the Yen family's people suddenly withdraw? It really made people feel strange. However, he did not think too much about it. A mere Yen family was nothing in his eyes. During this period of time, the 4 sacred birds had been in seclusion. However, Lin Feng realized that the 4 sacred birds seemed to have encountered some trouble. The demonic elemental energy in his body was very chaotic. Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. However, he could not help much. He could only pray that the 4 sacred birds could get through this crisis. Every transformation of a ferocious beast was extremely difficult. However, once the transformation was successful, their cultivation would usually improve by leaps and bounds. The 4 sacred birds had been with Lin Feng for many years. Lin Feng naturally hoped that the 4 sacred birds could be safe. At night, he had a big meal with little Meng Meng, Bibi, and the dragon rabbit. When it was late at night, Lin Feng suddenly heard someone talking to him telepathically. Little boy, let's talk. When he heard the voice transmission, Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. The voice was actually coming from the ghost raising jar. A ghost king's voice transmission? Lin Feng was surprised. He asked calmly, What do you want to talk to me about? Let's talk about our cooperation. The ghost king's voice was heard again. Cooperation? What kind of cooperation can we have? Lin Feng's tone was indifferent. Naturally, there are countless ways to cooperate. The Ghost King said sinisterly. Lin Feng asked indifferently, How do you want to cooperate? Set me free, and I can help you with many things. The Ghost King said. The ghost raising jar had absorbed more than 10,000 evil spirits to cultivate this Ghost King. It was extremely powerful. Lin Feng had wanted to subdue the Ghost King before, but he had not thought of a way to do so. However, it was unrealistic for him to release the Ghost King. The Ghost King was very cunning. Who knew what kind of terrible things would happen when he was released? He might be the one to suffer when the time came. Since I have the chance to refine you, why should I? Why should I let you out? Lin Feng said indifferently. Refine me? In your dreams. The Ghost King curled its lips, a look of disdain on its face. If I was just an ordinary Ghost King, you might be able to refine me, but let me tell you, I have already become a Ghost Emperor. Wanting to refine me is simply a pipe dream. Ghost Emperor? What realm is this Ghost Emperor at? Lin Feng asked doubtfully. A Ghost Emperor is equivalent to a human's quasi-emperor realm. The Ghost Emperor said. Lin Feng could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. This guy was actually so powerful. Fortunately, he did not let him out earlier. With such a terrifying cultivation, if he were to suddenly attack him, wouldn't he be slapped to death? This ghost-raising jar was truly a terrifying treasure. It had even nurtured a Ghost Emperor. If he were to absorb more evil spirits, would he be able to nurture an Emperor-level evil spirit? However, this seemed to be a little difficult. No matter what kind of living being became an emperor, they all needed to prove their Tao. Evil spirits were no exception. If evil spirits wanted to become an emperor, they also needed to prove their Tao. I think it's better for an existence like you to continue being suppressed in the ghost-raising jar. Lin Feng said indifferently. The Ghost Emperor said anxiously. Kid, it's a win-win cooperation. This is something that benefits both you and me. Why are you in such a hurry to reject me? Lin Feng sneered and said. Evil spirits are treacherous and cunning. I don't believe your words. Moreover, even if everything you say is true, I will not cooperate with you. The birth of a ghost like you will definitely cause a calamity. After saying that, Lin Feng cut off the connection with the Ghost Emperor. Chapter 2241. The next day, the teleportation array was activated, and Lin Feng successfully left the underground city. Half a month later, Lin Feng returned to the Reincarnation Immortal Sect. Your trip to the underground city was quite fruitful, Lord Tortoise said with a smile when he saw Lin Feng return. Lin Feng took out a bottle of Li Tonghua's imperial wine and handed it to Lord Tortoise. He smiled and said, "Have a taste." Lord Tortoise was a wine addict. He quickly removed the cork and gulped down 3 mouthfuls. Good wine, this is really good wine. Where did you get such a top-grade wine? Lord Tortoise looked at Lin Feng with a grin. Lin Feng said, I spent a lot of money to buy this wine to show my filial piety to you, master. At least you have some filial piety. You must have a lot of such wine on you. Hurry up and take them all out, Lord Tortoise said. Lin Feng took out another 10 jars of wine and handed them to Lord Tortoise. Lord Tortoise said, No, there must be more. Take them all out and show your filial piety to me. Lin Feng said, I only exchanged a dozen jars of such good wine. I drank a few jars, and the rest are all here. Let me see your storage ring, Lord Tortoise said with a smile. Lin Feng quickly jumped up and looked at Lord Tortoise as if he was guarding against a thief. He said, Master, how can you be like this? As a senior, how can you invade a junior's privacy? If I still have such good wine, how can I not show filial piety to you? Master, can you drink it first? When you're done, I'll find a way to get more for you, Lord Tortoise said. I want it now. As soon as he finished speaking, he pounced on Lin Feng. Damn, can we not be so shameless? Lin Feng was speechless. He turned around and ran. Lord Tortoise's master was indeed unreliable. There was nothing he couldn't do. I want wine. Hurry up and give it to me, Lord Tortoise shouted. Lin Feng ran outside while Master Tortoise chased after him. Save me! My master has gone crazy! Someone help me hold him down! Lin Feng shouted from within the sect. You little bastard! How dare you betray your master? You're really infuriating your master! Lord Tortoise shouted loudly. Lin Feng wanted to cry but had no tears. He said, Master, I just stopped you from stealing the underwear of the female disciples of the immortal sect. You say that I betrayed you and betrayed you. I'm innocent. If you like women's underwear, I can buy it for you. I can't watch you fall into the abyss and do nothing. Bastard brat, don't talk nonsense here. You were the one who stole the female disciples' underwear. I destroyed it to get you back on the right path. But you didn't recognize my good intentions. Now you're slandering me. I'm going to punish you according to the sect rules, Lord Tortoise shouted. Both parties, one fleeing and one chasing, caused a huge commotion within the sect. Damn 2 scums! Little scum and old scum! Many people muttered in their hearts. They're the disgrace of the sect! Some people wailed. These 2 clowns! Some people couldn't help but laugh. They felt that Lin Feng and Lord Tortoise's master-disciple relationship was quite interesting. In the end, Lord Tortoise caught up with Lin Feng and gave him a good beating. Master, the wine is all yours. I'll give it all to you, Lin Feng wailed. He gathered 100 jugs of wine and gave them to Lord Tortoise. Do you have more? Lord Tortoise asked. Lin Feng quickly shook his head and said, I don't have any more this time. I'll give you more after you finish drinking. I don't care if you have more now. If you don't have it when I need it, I'll have to punish you, Lord Tortoise said with a smile. He held a jug of wine in each hand. As he spoke, he gulped down the wine. Lin Feng felt like crying. He originally wanted to show his filial piety to this cheap master with wine. Who knew that this cheap master would be so greedy? In the end, Lin Feng could only sigh. Who asked him to have such a master who specialized in cheating his disciples? This was his fate. Let's go back and cook. I'm hungry. Roast meat, snake soup, braised pork knuckle, Buddha jumps over the wall, and so on. Bring every dish you're good at tonight, Lord Tortoise said. Lin Feng said. Okay, no problem. I guarantee that you'll have a good time eating. Lin Feng personally cooked that night, and made more than 20 dishes. Lord Tortoise, Du Zhu, Heretic Sovereign Sage, Lin Feng, Meng Meng, Bibi, and Dragon Rabbit all gathered at the table to enjoy the food. Come to Grandmaster! Lord Tortoise waved at Meng Meng with a smile. Meng Meng glanced at Lin Feng before snuggling up to Lin Feng. Clearly, she felt a sense of unfamiliarity with Lord Tortoise. Lin Feng said with a smile, Go, let that old grandpa teach you some powerful techniques. Meng Meng asked innocently. If Meng Meng learns those powerful techniques, will I be able to protect Big Brother? Lin Feng patted Meng Meng's head and said, Of course I'll be able to protect Big Brother. Meng Meng said, In the future, Meng Meng will protect Big Brother and won't let Big Brother get hurt. There was a saying that children's words carried no harm. In fact, it meant that children were simple-minded and would say whatever they wanted to say. If they said something unpleasant, one shouldn't blame them. Now that Meng Meng said that she would protect Lin Feng when she grew up, it was the truest portrayal of the little girl's heart. Lin Feng was touched. This little girl is really cute. Not bad, not bad. Call me Grandmaster, and I'll teach you whatever you want to learn in the future, Lord Tortoise said with a smile. Lin Feng said, Meng Meng calls me Big Brother. Master, even if you want to take me in, I should be your little disciple. You're old enough to be Meng Meng's father, yet you still want her to call you Big Brother? Are you pretending to be young? You can't be so shameless. Chapter 2242. Of course. When the time comes, I'll teach you all my most powerful skills, Master Tortoise said with a smile. Lin Feng said. Forget about the 8 and 9 arcane art, Master Tortoise said. Don't worry about that. I won't teach this little girl the 8 and 9 arcane art. Besides, it's not suitable for her to cultivate. Little Meng Meng then followed Master Tortoise to cultivate. Little Meng Meng was Chio's daughter, and her talent was heaven-defying. Therefore, she learned everything very quickly. After learning from Master Tortoise for a period of time, her cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds. The Chiyu bloodline is indeed extraordinary! Master Tortoise could not help but exclaim as he looked at little Meng Meng, who was floating in the air. In a month's time, little Meng Meng, who had no cultivation at all, could now float in the air. It was simply a miracle. One had to know that one had to be at least a martial king to be able to do this. Back then, Lin Feng had cultivated from martial disciple to martial king for a total of 13 years. Little Meng Meng, on the other hand, had only taken a short month. Lin Feng was not surprised that Master Tortoise could tell that little Meng Meng was Chio's daughter. This cheap master of his was very capable. He said, Her Chiyu bloodline should have awakened, right? Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to cultivate so quickly. Master Tortoise said, A trace of her bloodline has awakened. She's still too young, so it's not time for her bloodline to awaken. However, as she grows older and her cultivation increases, her Chiyu bloodline will be completely awakened. When that time comes, I'm really looking forward to seeing how much she'll grow, Lin Feng said. That's a matter for the future. Right now, I just hope that the little girl can grow up well. Master Tortoise narrowed his eyes and said, Born in troubled times, everything in the future is unpredictable. Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly and said, Master, there's a hidden meaning in your words. What are you trying to say? There are some things that are said in advance. It's not good for anyone, Master Tortoise said. Lin Feng nodded and did not ask any more questions. In the afternoon, Lin Feng called the red-crowned crane boy over. He and little Meng Meng sat on the crane boy's back and went out to play. The red-crowned crane boy flew through the air as fast as lightning. However, little Meng Meng was not afraid at all. Instead, she looked extremely excited. Xiao Meng Meng had a lot of fun. When she went back in the evening, she was still a little reluctant to leave. She kept asking when they could go out and play together again. When you learn how to use magic power, let's go out and play for a day, Lin Feng said with a smile. Meng Meng clapped her hands and said, Big brother, you have to keep your word. Of course, Big brother will keep his word. Lin Feng rubbed Xiao Meng Meng's head lovingly. When he returned to the sect, a bronze carriage came from afar. The carriage suddenly stopped and Xia Shurian's voice came from inside. When did you return to the sect? Xia Shurian's voice sounded like she was gnashing her teeth. Last time, she teamed up with Bai Yusin, Nangong Qiming, and Yan Shaner to scheme against Lin Feng. But in the end, he failed. And after he failed, the four of them were captured by Lin Feng. Now that she thought about what had happened in those few days, she couldn't help but feel ashamed and resentful. Little Yunyun, where did you go? Did you just return to the sect? We are really fated to meet each other. You just came back, and you already met me, Lin Feng said with a smile. Who is fated to meet you? Xia Shuyun couldn't help but spit at Lin Feng. Lin Feng let the crane boy go back first, while he carried Xiao Meng Meng and flew into Xia Shuyun's carriage. Who let you in? Get out now! Xia Shuyun gnashed her teeth and said, Why are you so fierce when meeting an old lover? I love you so much. If you treat me like this, I will be very sad, Lin Feng said. Only a ghost will believe you. Xia Shuyun snorted. Then she looked at Xiao Meng Meng and said with a sour tone, Don't tell me you gave birth to him with some other woman? Xiao Meng Meng said, Big sister fairy, Big brother is not Xiao Meng Meng's father. He is Xiao Meng Meng's dearest big brother. Xiao Meng Meng's delicate appearance was too cute, and she was also very good at talking. Xia Shuyun's heart almost melted when she heard Xiao Meng Meng call her big sister fairy. Moreover, she knew that Xiao Meng Meng wasn't Lin Feng's daughter. Xia Shuyun found that her mood inexplicably improved. She said with a smile, So you are called Xiao Meng Meng. Come, let big sister hug you. Xiao Meng Meng jumped into Xia Shuyun's arms and asked innocently, Big sister fairy, are you big brother's lover? Xia Shuyun's pretty face turned red. She asked, Why do you ask? Xiao Meng Meng said, Big brother just said that he loves big sister fairy a lot. So, Xiao Meng Meng guessed that big sister fairy is big brother's lover. Will big sister fairy have a baby with big brother in the future? Xia Shuyun's pretty face turned red. Such a question made her very shy, and she didn't know how to answer Xiao Meng Meng. Lin Feng said with a smile, When the baby is born, Xiao Meng Meng will be able to take care of the baby. Hee hee, Xiao Meng Meng likes babies. Xiao Meng Meng laughed very innocently. Xia Shuyun reached out and grabbed Lin Feng's soft waist and twisted it. Lin Feng immediately grimaced in pain. Heroine, please spare me! He looked pitifully at Xia Shuyun. Xia Shuyun looked at Lin Feng proudly and lightly snorted. Let's see if you still dare to speak nonsense, Lin Feng said. I'm telling the truth. Two people who love each other will naturally have their own happiness in the future. Who is in love with you? Xia Shuyun lightly snorted. Of course it's my little Shuyun. Lin Feng took the opportunity to hug Xia Shuyun's slender waist. Xia Shuyun symbolically struggled twice, but she couldn't break free, so she stopped struggling. Instead, she started chatting with Xiao Meng Meng. The two of them looked as if they regretted not having met earlier. One adult and one child, they actually hit it off very well. Xiao Meng Meng, why don't you sleep with big sister tonight? Xia Shuyun smiled and asked. Xiao Meng Meng said, But what about big brother? If I'm not here, big brother will miss me. Xia Shuyun smiled and said, Big sister has an inner and outer room. How about I let your big brother sleep outside? That way, you can talk to him. Lin Feng was secretly delighted. Xia Shuyun could even bring up such an idea. It seemed that she had completely let down her guard against him. Lin Feng smiled and said, Tonight I'll be your escort and protect you two beauties. After Xia Shuyun returned, she often played with Xiao Meng Meng. Her three best friends, Bai Yusin, Nangong Qiming, and Yuan Shaner, were all very fond of Xiao Meng Meng. Big sister fairy, are you big brother's lovers too? Xiao Mingming would ask from time to time. Xia Shiyun was a bit better, as she was closer to Lin Feng. Every time Bai Yusin, Nan Gongqiming, and Yuan Shan heard Xiao Mingming's question, their faces would turn red and they would be incomparably embarrassed. They wouldn't know how to answer. Chapter 2243. On this day, Lin Feng received a letter from Xue Zimei of the Snow Clan. She said that the Snow Clan was in danger, and hoped that Lin Feng could go to the Snow Clan to help them survive this crisis. However, Xue Zimei did not say what kind of danger the Snow Clan was in. Lin Feng could not help but think of the night before he left the Snow Clan. Xue Zimei was as gentle as water. The Snow Clan's matter had long been related to Lin Feng. Now that Xue Zimei had sent a letter asking for help, it was obvious that the Snow Clan was in trouble. Lin Feng left Meng Meng in the Reincarnation Immortal sect. During the day, Meng Meng would cultivate with Lord Turtle. At night, Xia Shiyun would take Meng Meng away. Recently, the relationship between Meng Meng and Xia Shiyun had improved by leaps and bounds. Therefore, Lin Feng did not have to worry about Meng Meng being unhappy when she left him. This time, Lin Feng brought Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint with him. With the help of these two and the half-step sovereign puppet, Lin Feng believed that no matter what kind of danger he faced, he would be able to deal with it calmly. The three of them took the teleportation array and arrived at Snow Eagle City. After flying north for another 10 days, they would arrive at the Ice Plains. The Ice Plains were filled with raging cold winds. However, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint were strong and did not fear the cold. When they passed by a huge rift valley, Hong, a terrifying aura spread out from the rift valley. Following that, a woman stepped out. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes at the woman. She was none other than Fairy Miao Qing. Fairy Miao Qing looked at Lin Feng coldly. She did not hide her killing intent towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng, it's time for you to die, Lin Feng said indifferently. You want to kill me? Don't you think you're overestimating yourself? Fairy Miao Qing sneered. Lin Feng, you think too highly of yourself. Hee, I think too highly of myself? I wonder who was captured by me back then. Lin Feng looked at Fairy Miao Qing with a faint smile. This woman was one of the fairies on the list of beauties. She was the goddess in the hearts of countless people. In the eyes of many, Fairy Miao Qing was a woman with beauty, wisdom, and character. However, Lin Feng knew that Fairy Miao Qing was a vicious and merciless woman. Fairy Miao Qing said coldly, That time, it was because I fell into your trap that I fell for it. However, in the end, you still failed to catch me. What is there to be proud of? Lin Feng mumbled in his heart. This Fairy Miao Qing was really lying through her teeth. I clearly suppressed you with my strength, okay? Since when did they rely on crafty schemes? If it wasn't for the arrival of the divine servants. You're my slave now, okay? Lin Feng did not expose Fairy Miao Qing. This woman suddenly appeared here. Unless she was crazy, she wouldn't block his way alone. Lin Feng carefully scanned his surroundings with his inner sight. Immediately, he discovered some hidden auras. He couldn't help but sneer in his heart. It was as he had guessed. This woman didn't come here on her own. Instead, she brought along some experts. Fairy Miao Qing was in charge of attracting his attention. As for those experts, they were hidden in the dark, ready to launch a sure-kill attack on him at any time. Lin Feng glared at Fairy Miao Qing fiercely and said indifferently, Call out the people you brought. There's no need to hide in the surroundings. I can already sense their auras. Kid, your sensing ability is really shocking. A cold voice sounded. Following which, an old man with a sage-like demeanor flew out from the Rift Valley. This old man with a sage-like demeanor was abnormally powerful. Even Lin Feng felt a little shocked. How should I address you? Lin Feng asked. Su Zhongtian, the old man said. People from the Su family. Lin Feng couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Su Miaoqing's family was also a huge family with strong influence. Otherwise, they wouldn't be qualified to marry into the supreme immortal sect. The Grand Elder of the Su family. Su Zhongtian smiled faintly. Lin Feng smiled and said, Su Miaoqing really went all out. In order to get rid of me, she even called the grand elder of her family. Not only is fellow Taoist Su here, but the people from the Supreme Immortal Sect are also here. A cold voice sounded from the left. Following which, a middle-aged cultivator walked over. Who are you? Lin Feng asked indifferently. Dugas Shao of the Supreme Immortal Sect. The middle-aged cultivator said coldly. I heard that Duga Di Tian's family is very powerful in the Supreme Immortal Sect. Could it be that you're from Duga Di Tian's family? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. That's right. I'm Duga Di Tian's third uncle, Duga Shao said. You guys are really scheming. You're joining forces to kill me here. However, I'm afraid you guys won't be able to kill me, Lin Feng sneered. What if you count us in? The void cracked open. 3 cultivators stepped out. These 3 cultivators were all men. One of them was dressed in a Taoist robe. The other 2 men were dressed in the Supreme Immortal Sect's attire. A Taoist? Lin Feng looked at the cultivator in the Taoist robe. He couldn't help but frown. This person was clearly not from the Supreme Immortal Sect. I'm Wu Guangyuan of the Geomaster lineage, the cultivator in the Taoist robe said. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. Shameless, truly shameless. You're not a Taoist, so why are you wearing a Taoist robe? You're an unfilial descendant of the Geomaster lineage. Wu Guangyuan's expression instantly turned ugly. He said coldly, You should worry about your own life. As for what I'm wearing, what does that have to do with you? You're already so old, yet your temper is still so bad. No wonder your Geomaster lineage can't compare to our Heavenly Master lineage. There's a saying that goes, looking at a leopard through a tube. You can be considered a high-ranking member of the Geomaster lineage, right? If even you can't keep your cool, then the Geomaster lineage is clearly a terrible sect. You're destined to be trampled under our feet forever. Lin Feng continued to mock him. My Geomaster lineage has deep roots, while your Heavenly Master lineage has been passed down for so long that even your Taoist teachings are about to be cut off. You've only learned a little, yet you still dare to boast shamelessly here? What a joke! Wu Guangyuan sneered. Lin Feng said indifferently. That's right. I've only learned a little, but I can still use the Heavenly Master lineage's legacy to beat your Geomaster lineage. Ignorant brat, how dare you speak such arrogant words? Wu Guangyuan couldn't help but shout angrily. His eyes flickered with dense killing intent. Brother Wu, why get angry? There's no need for that. Next, we can kill him however we want. However, I don't plan to kill him directly. I want to see him kneel before us like a dog and beg us to let him live. Duga Shao said sinisterly. Chapter 2244. I think you've lost your minds. You're about to die, yet you're still indulging in fantasy. Lin Feng pursed his lips. Duzu said with a smile. A bunch of trash. You don't even need to do anything. The zombie and I can easily get rid of them. That's right. It's a piece of cake. The evil Dominator Saint nodded. Duga Shao, Wu Guangyuan, and the others' faces turned gloomy. You don't know what's good for you. Kill these people! Duga Shao shouted coldly. Everyone moved. Duga Shao, Wu Guangyuan, Su Miaoqing, and Su Zhongtian. One of the other 2 experts from the Supreme Immortal Sect was called Wang Qi. The other was called Zhang Jiao. The 6 experts attacked together. They used their peerless skills right away. 9 Heavens Immortal Thunder Dao. 10,000 Heavenly Dragon Kill. Purgatory Reincarnation Fist. Supreme Celestial Destroying Palm. 10,000 Beast Subduing Demon Force. 9 Heavens God Falling Slash. The 6 experts' attacks were each more ferocious than the last. They were so terrifying that it was shocking. This won't do, young master. The 2 of us can't deal with them. You have to do it together. After feeling the terror of the 6 experts, the poison ancestor immediately cried out. His previous arrogance had already turned into fear and shock. The 6 experts looked cold. They were extremely confident in their combat strength. They looked at Lin Feng and the other two as if they were looking at dead people. In their opinion, Lin Feng and Du Zhu would not be able to escape today. Only death awaited them. "Attack!" Lin Feng shouted. Swoosh! Then, he, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint began to attack. In the face of their attacks, Lin Feng took out the defensive treasure he had obtained not long ago, the purple gold heavenly ball. It was a defensive treasure at the level of a boundary emperor weapon. Its defensive power was extremely strong. When Lin Feng took out the purple gold heavenly ball, the treasure immediately made a buzzing sound. Then, the purple gold heavenly ball released beams of purple divine light. The purple light enveloped Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic sovereign saint. Bang 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 bang. The attacks launched by the 6 experts bombarded the defensive system constructed by the purple gold heavenly ball. However, they failed to break the defensive system constructed by the purple gold heavenly ball. Seeing this, Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised. As expected of a quasi-emperor level defensive magic treasure, its power was simply too awesome. Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint were both experts among experts. They had rich battle experience. When Lin Feng took out the purple gold heavenly sphere to defend himself, the two of them launched their attacks. They locked onto one of the 6 masters who was closest to them. This expert was Wang Chui. This Wang Chui's cultivation should be between the peak of the giant god realm and the quasi-emperor realm. His combat prowess was abnormally terrifying. In order to kill him in one blow, Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint focused their power on this person. After Wang Chui made his move, he thought that even if Lin Feng and the other two could block his attack, it would be difficult for them to counterattack. Who would have thought that Lin Feng would take out a quasi-emperor level defensive magic treasure to block their attack? It should be known that defensive magic treasures were relatively rare, and high-level defensive magic treasures were even rarer. As for quasi-emperor level defensive magic treasures, they could be described as scarce. Therefore, after Lin Feng took out a quasi-emperor level defensive magic treasure, the 6 experts were caught off guard. Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint had a clear division of labor. Du Zhu released a large amount of poison to envelop Wang Chui. By the time Wang Chui realized it and wanted to retreat, it was already too late. Wang Chui's body was enveloped by Du Zhu's poison. Wang Chui's cultivation was strong. Although he was poisoned, he was not poisoned to death. But at this time, the evil Dominator Saint had already rushed out and instantly arrived beside Wang Chui. His sharp claws pierced towards Wang Chui's chest. Wang Chui turned pale with fright and hurriedly threw a punch at the evil Dominator Saint. "Courting death!" The other 5 experts shouted angrily and all charged towards the evil Dominator Saint. If it was anyone else, they would definitely choose to dodge the attacks of the 6 experts. After all, if their bodies were to withstand the attacks of the 6 experts, they would definitely die. But the evil Dominator Saint was different from ordinary cultivators. The evil Dominator Saint was a corpse cultivator that had evolved from the Emperor Corpse. The Emperor Corpse was too powerful and had an unparalleled physical body. It was not easy for ordinary people to hurt the evil Dominator Saint's physical body. The evil Dominator Saint's weakness was the soul. But obviously, this was the first time the 6 experts had seen the evil Dominator Saint. They could not understand the evil Dominator Saint's weakness like Lin Feng. Great entanglement technique! Lin Feng quickly attacked and a dense number of threads condensed. Those threads wrapped around Wang Chui's body, making it impossible for him to attack. If Wang Chui had not been poisoned, he could have broken the threads wrapped around his body. But Wang Chui was poisoned. Now, Wang Chui's cultivation had plummeted. It was difficult for him to break free from Lin Feng's great entanglement technique, which was condensed from 3,000 great das. Hence, Wang Chui's body was completely exposed in front of the evil Dominator Saint. Pooh! The evil Dominator Saint's sharp claws pierced through Wang Chui's chest. "I'm going to die just like that." Wang Chui lowered his head and looked at the sharp claws that had pierced through his chest in disbelief. He could not help but laugh bitterly. Thinking back to his life, How many hardships had he experienced until now? But he did not expect that he would end up like this. Pooh! In the next moment, the evil Dominator Saint pulled out Wang Chui's heart. Die! The 5 experts roared as their powerful attacks landed on the evil Dominator Saint. Bang! Accompanied by the sound of a violent collision, the evil Dominator Saint was sent flying. But soon, the evil Dominator Saint stabilized his body. His body was unscathed. How is this possible? Su Miaoqing cried out in disbelief. Even a half-step emperor should have been killed by such a powerful attack. But the evil Dominator Saint was unscathed. This was unbelievable. Su Zhongtian said. This corpse cultivator's physical body is too strong. Use your soul technique to destroy his soul. Su Zhongtian was indeed an experienced antique. He immediately discovered the evil Dominator Saint's weakness after exchanging blows. These people condensed their soul technique to destroy Su Zhongtian's soul. But at this moment, the evil Dominator Saint hurriedly flew toward Lin Feng. He entered the defensive divine light released by the purple gold heavenly ball. Clang! A muffled sound of collision was heard. The soul technique of the 5 experts was blocked by the defensive divine light released by the purple gold heavenly ball. They could not hurt the evil Dominator Saint at all. Chapter 2245. You've already lost an expert. It seems like we're doomed to lose this battle. Lin Feng looked at the 5 experts indifferently. Kid, don't get too cocky. Today, I'll let you experience the ultimate inheritance of the Earth Masters. Earth Immortal World-Destroying Formation. Everyone, listen to my command. Return to your positions. Wu Guangyuan couldn't help but shout. Swish. 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 The 5 experts scattered in all directions. At the same time, white fog billowed in the surroundings, covering the sky and the sun. The visibility was reduced to 12 meters. Huh! Lin Feng frowned. He had a bad feeling. Even though he said he didn't care about the Geomasters, he didn't care. Although he didn't say much about the Earth Masters, Lin Feng still attached great importance to them. This faction had existed for such a long time, and it was still so strong. It was obvious how powerful it was. Although he could look down on any opponent, he would never underestimate any opponent. This was Lin Feng's way of doing things. Young master, the auras of those 5 people have completely disappeared, Du Zhu said gravely. Lin Feng nodded. It seems like these people have been scheming. They set up a formation here in advance and waited for me to arrive. Heretic Sovereign Saint said. What should we do now? Let's see what they're going to do for now. Let's go, Lin Feng said. Du Zhu and Heretic Sovereign Saint nodded. This was probably the best method for now. Using stillness to deal with change, using constancy to deal with all changes. No matter what the other party did, they could sense it in advance. Eternal reincarnation in a single thought. Billions of gods and Buddhas can reach the heavens. Your lifespan is the same as the heavens. Only Earth Immortals can be immortal. Suddenly, a deep voice rang out. When that voice rang out, the entire world seemed to fall silent. Only that deep and ancient voice could be heard. It was as if everything in the world had changed. The cycle of reincarnation is nothing more than a single thought from me. There are billions of gods and Buddhas in this world. Your lifespans can even be as long as the heavens themselves. But in this world, I am the only one who is indestructible. This was such a grand and heroic poem. Billions of gods and Buddhas had a long lifespan, but in the end, they could not escape death and were destined to become dust. Only Earth Immortals could transcend the fate of reincarnation. Earth Immortal. An unknown and terrifying existence. Lin Feng knew that there was a realm above the Emperor realm. Lin Feng was actually not too clear on what realm they were at. However, he had heard that there was a distinction between true immortal and false immortal. Hollow immortals were not considered true immortals, but they surpassed great emperors. Above the false immortal was the true immortal. As for what level an earthly immortal was, Lin Feng had no idea. This was because he had not come into contact with the specific division of realms above the Emperor realm. Even the Demon Lord did not know. It could only be found in some ancient books. He found a few scattered clues to deduce how the realms above the Great Emperor realm were divided. Shwa! Within the white mist, immortal light surged. An ancient existence stepped forward. It was a man in snow-white robes. He was so otherworldly that he did not look like a mortal at all. He had an indescribable temperament. That temperament. No one could see it. They all felt ashamed of their inferiority. Could he really be an immortal? Du Zhu could not help but mutter. Earth immortal is immortal, all spirits bow down. The mysterious man stepped forward. A terrifying aura spread out, as if it was really the aura of an earth immortal. When the aura enveloped Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint, the three of them felt like they could not move an inch. Their bodies were also trembling. Lin Feng even felt that his knees were about to fall to the ground. This was a kind of spiritual aura. He had never felt such a powerful and terrifying aura. Lin Feng hurriedly activated his epic aura. When the epic aura was activated, the terrifying aura disappeared. Young master, we're in trouble. This guy's aura is so terrifying. I'm afraid we can't deal with him. Poison Ancestor cried out loudly. Then what are we waiting for? Run! Lin Feng shouted. He turned and ran with Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint. If they could win, they would fight. If they could not win, they would run. This was Lin Feng's way of doing things. If they could not win, they would have to be crazy not to run. The Earth Immortal was slightly taken aback. He did not expect Lin Feng and the other two to turn and run without hesitation. But then the Earth Immortal sneered. His mouth was full of disdain. One had to admit that the array of the Earth Master lineage was really powerful. The Earth Immortal that was formed seemed to have his own thoughts. That was why this Earth Immortal was so terrifying. He quickly charged toward Lin Feng and the other two. Boom! Then, a terrifying palm slammed into the defensive divine light formed by the purple-gold heavenly sphere. Crack! Crack! The defensive divine light formed by the purple-gold heavenly sphere shattered. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint were all sent flying. Weekends, only death awaits you! The Earth Immortal stood in the air and swept his cold gaze over Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint. He flipped his right hand. Suddenly, an illusory world appeared in the air. In that illusory world, immortal palaces stretched endlessly. One could even vaguely see immortals discussing the Tao and fairies dancing gracefully. It was such a beautiful world. Just like the immortal realm, it was filled with infinite beauty. But when that world descended, Lin Feng felt endless killing intent from it. Retreat! Lin Feng shouted in a low voice. Swoosh! Swoosh! He, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint did not dare to stay and quickly retreated. Despicable ants, do you think you can escape? That's too whimsical! The Earth Immortal sneered. The illusory world continued to expand. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint did not manage to escape from the illusory world. They were trapped by that illusory world. It directly enveloped them. Then, they were instantly swallowed up by that illusory world. In the next moment, that illusory world began to shrink. Soon, it had shrunk to the size of a bowl and floated in front of the Earth Immortal. Let us out! Du Zhu shouted. No need to shout. It's useless. We're trapped. Lin Feng frowned as he looked at the world that trapped them. Immortal light lingered around it. This world had now become a cage, trapping them inside. When they were outside, they saw that this world was filled with immortal palaces and immortals were discussing the Tao and fairies were dancing gracefully. Now, all they saw was an empty world. There was no sound at all. It was so quiet that it was suffocating. It was like a world of death. There was only darkness and coldness. Chapter 2246. Refine. The Earth Immortal stretched out his hands, and the shrunken world floated between them. Waves of powerful magic power surged out of the Earth Immortal's hands and poured into the shrunken world. The magic power burned. The Earth Immortal wanted to refine Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic Dominator Saint who were trapped inside. In the illusory world, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic Dominator Saint's faces were grim. They tried to break the illusory world, but failed every time. As their magic power surged into the world, it burned fiercely. Lin Feng immediately felt the magic power in his body burning as well. "He wants to refine us," Lin Feng said in a low voice. "What do we do now, young master?" Du Zhu asked. He was out of ideas. "I didn't expect the Geomasters to have such a powerful legacy. That's unbelievable. But it's not like there's no way to break this illusory world," Lin Feng said with narrowed eyes. Du Zhu and the heretic Dominator Saint's eyes lit up when they heard that Lin Feng had a way to break the illusory world. Du Zhu asked, "What method have you thought of, young master?" "Immortal artifact, 5-dragon wheel." Lin Feng waved his right hand and brought out the 5-dragon wheel. "Oh my God! Young master even has an immortal artifact!" Du Zhu exclaimed. His eyes shone as he looked at the 5-dragon wheel. If not for Lin Feng, Du Zhu would have pounced on the 5-dragon wheel to snatch it. Activating the 5-dragon wheel requires a few million years of lifespan. The Earth Immortal formed by this formation is too powerful. So, I'm afraid just activating the 5-dragon wheel won't be enough to kill the Earth Immortal. We need to unleash the full power of the 5-dragon wheel. Each of us will burn 4 million years of lifespan to activate the 5-dragon wheel," Lin Feng said. Although it pained Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint to burn 4 million years of their lifespan, it was better than dying here, right? The two of them began to burn their lifespan. Lin Feng also began to burn his lifespan. Lin Feng had burned 3 million years of his lifespan in order to deal with that half-step Emperor-level insect. Now that he had to burn another 4 million years of his lifespan, he was quite depressed. Originally, Lin Feng's lifespan had been greatly depleted when he had quadrupled his battle prowess. These breakthroughs, coupled with the fact that Lin Feng had cultivated the grand longevity technique, had continuously increased his lifespan. Therefore, Lin Feng's lifespan increased from 8 million years to 17 million years. However, after activating the 5-dragon wheel twice, Lin Feng only had 10 million years left in his lifespan. After burning 4 million years of their lifespan, each of them felt a little weak. Lifespan was one of the 9 great essences of cultivators. Burning one's essences would cause serious side effects to a cultivator's body. Burning too much of one's lifespan too frequently could even cause a cultivator to be unable to increase their cultivation in the future. Therefore, it was very taboo for cultivators to burn their lifespan. However, in order to survive, Lin Feng no longer cared about this. After burning 12 million years of his lifespan, he released a powerful essence energy. This essence energy was all poured into the immortal artifact, the 5-dragon wheel. The densely packed runes on the 5-dragon wheel began to awaken. Although only a small part of the runes had awakened, it was still terrifying enough. Roar! The dragon's roar resounded through the clouds and shook the void. The 5-dragon wheel's power had awakened. Slash! Lin Feng roared and directly activated the 5-dragon wheel to release a terrifying light beam that slashed at the illusory realm's crystal wall. Clang! The attack landed heavily on the crystal wall of the spectral world. Immediately, the crystal wall of the spectral world began to emit cracking sounds. Clearly, the illusory realm couldn't withstand the 5-dragon wheel's power. This made Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretical Dominator Saint smile. As expected of an immortal artifact, its power was too strong. Burning 12 million years of their lifespan to activate the 5-dragon wheel wasn't a waste. Oh no! The Earth Immortal's expression changed slightly. Streaks of immortal light appeared in his hands. The streaks of immortal light turned into chains of order and entangled the illusory world. The Earth Immortal wanted to use this method to continue trapping Lin Feng and the others. However, his efforts were destined to be in vain. Clang! 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 3 consecutive strikes. Crack, crack, crack. The illusory realm shattered. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretical dominator saint broke free. Ha ha ha, since you've let us out, you'll be the one to die today. Die! Lin Feng sneered and controlled the 5-dragon wheel to attack the Earth Immortal. Eternal instant! The earthly immortal suddenly let out a long roar and unleashed an extremely terrifying sacred art. The moment the eternal instant was used, the illusory realm froze. The illusory realm froze. Even the 5-dragon wheel froze in the illusory realm. The corner of the Earth Immortal's mouth curled into a smug smile. However, in the next moment, the smug expression on his face froze. The 5-dragon wheel shook slightly. It broke the Earth Immortal's divine ability. Then, the 5-dragon wheel shot out a terrifying beam of light. It slammed into the Earth Immortal's body. Bang! A muffled sound of collision was heard. The Earth Immortal was sent flying by the 5-dragon wheel. Wow, the 5-dragon wheel is really powerful! Du Zhu yelled. A bunch of bastards. Do you think you can kill us just because you've set up some **T formation and created some **T Earth Immortal? You're daydreaming. We were just teasing you. If we want to kill you, it'll be a matter of minutes. Now that Du Zhu was full of confidence, he became arrogant again and kept provoking the 5 experts who were hiding in the dark. However, the 5 experts did not respond to Du Zhu. They probably did not want to expose their location. In fact, Lin Feng knew that Du Zhu had another purpose in provoking the 5 experts. He wanted to find out where they were hiding. If he could kill them, the formation would collapse on its own. Unfortunately, the 5 experts did not fall for his trick. They're all 1,000-year-old foxes. Du Zhu could not help but mutter. Eternal slash. Suddenly, the Earth Immortal attacked again. He leaped into the air and turned into a beam of eternal immortal light. The eternal immortal light seemed to be able to shatter heaven and earth. It slashed down in an instant. Lin Feng suddenly realized that there was something different about him. The ultimate moves of this Earth Immortal were all related to the eternal Tao. It seemed that Wu Guangyuan, who set up this formation, was very good at the eternal path. He used the eternal path as the foundation to set up the formation. Therefore, the Earth Immortal he created was also good at the eternal path. Chapter 2247. There were many types of eternal Tao. There were powerful eternal Taos and weak eternal Taos. The Grand Eternity Technique was the general outline of all eternal Tao. If one learned the Grand Eternity Technique, they could deduce all kinds of eternal Tao. Among the 3,000 great Taos, the Grand Eternity Technique was ranked 7th. The 3,000 great Taos were quite heaven-defying. There might be many people who knew eternal Tao, but those who knew the Grand Eternity Technique could be counted on one hand. Lin Feng didn't know if Wu Guangyuan had cultivated the Grand Eternity Technique. However, even if Wu Guangyuan didn't know the Grand Eternity Technique, the eternal Tao he cultivated must be extremely powerful. Otherwise, the eternal Tao wouldn't be the foundation of such a powerful formation. Facing the attack of the eternal light formed by the Earth Immortal, Lin Feng continued to control the 5-dragon wheel to launch a fierce counterattack. Lin Feng now had a divine ability that allowed him to transform into a myriad of forms. He could break it with a single blow. Under Lin Feng's control, the 5-dragon wheel released waves of destructive energy. A powerful light beam swept out again. This light beam blasted toward the eternal light formed by the Earth Immortal. Clang! The two sides collided violently in the void. The light beam from the 5-dragon wheel dissipated. The Earth Immortal also changed from the eternal light form to his true form. Lowly ant, you've successfully angered an immortal. The Earth Immortal looked coldly at Lin Feng. Lin Feng was speechless. He couldn't help but curse. Do you really think you're an immortal? You're just a condensation of the formation. Wake up now! Stop daydreaming that you're an immortal. Lowly ant, you dare to blaspheme the dignity of an immortal. You'll pay with your life. The Earth Immortal looked coldly at Lin Feng. Poison Ancestor said. In this guy's mind, He might really think that he's an immortal and not someone who was created. That's too sad, Evil Sovereign Saint said. Yes, the saddest thing in this world is not even knowing who you are. All of you ants deserve to die. Hearing Lin Feng and the other two discussing him, the Earth Immortal flew into a rage. Just as Du Zhu had said, this Earth Immortal might really think that he was an immortal and not someone who had created him. It was because of this that this Earth Immortal was so arrogant. Boom! A terrifying aura permeated the air. The Earthen Immortal stepped forward in midair. I am the embodiment of eternity. I will become the eternal divine sun, illuminating every corner of the world and expelling the darkness. Evil will have nowhere to hide. The Earth Immortal's deep voice resounded throughout the area. F***CK, don't you have any shame? Have we become evil? After hearing what the Earthen Immortal was chanting, Lin Feng could not help but feel speechless. Shameless people are invincible in this world. Rumble! A loud rumbling sound reverberated through the world. At this moment, the body of the earthly immortal began to change. His body was emitting boundless immortal light. The immortal light covered the sky and the sun. It surged in all directions. It shone for eternity. Clouds moved in all directions. Billions of lives were destroyed. All of a sudden, the Earth Immortal's body disappeared. What replaced it was a divine sun. The immortal light also disappeared. The light from the divine sun turned into eternal light. Rumble! The divine sun flew in the sky, crushing the void. Crack! Crack! Wherever the divine sun passed, the void split open. Such power was truly shocking to the extreme. The huge divine sun headed straight for Lin Feng and the other two. They felt a sense of oppression that they had never felt before. Transforming into a divine sun should be the Earth Immortal's ultimate technique. Lin Feng and the other two did not dare to be careless. Activate the 5-dragon wheel with me! Lin Feng shouted. Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint did not dare to hesitate. The two of them and Lin Feng activated the 5-dragon wheel together. Powerful magic power surged into the wheel, causing it to fluctuate more and more violently. Roar! A loud dragon roar came from the 5-dragon wheel again. The dense runes seemed to have awakened and kept twisting. The most shocking thing was that a dragon-shaped shadow appeared in the 5-dragon wheel. The dragon-shaped shadow circled outside the 5-dragon wheel and kept moving. The 5-dragon wheel quickly slashed towards the divine sun that was suppressing it. Puff! A tearing sound was heard. The 5-dragon wheel unleashed its might and split the divine sun into 2 halves. This immortal was killed. How is this possible? The divine sun turned into an immortal. However, this immortal had already been split into 2 halves. Then, the immortal disappeared. The array also gradually dissipated. The 5 experts who were hiding in the array all revealed themselves. Now, the 5 experts' faces were pale. They could not believe what had just happened. Such a powerful immortal had actually been slain. Immortal weapon! He has an immortal weapon! Duge Xiao cried out in horror. The Taishang immortal sect had immortal weapons. He had seen immortal weapons before. Therefore, he had some understanding of immortal weapons. He felt the aura of an immortal weapon from the 5-dragon wheel. Run, 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 run! The 5 experts shouted in horror. The fact that Lin Feng had an immortal weapon was too shocking. They no longer had the courage to fight against Lin Feng. Unless they also had an immortal weapon. Otherwise, they would not be able to fight against Lin Feng. The 5 powerhouses shot off in 5 different directions. They were smart. They knew that if they ran together, they would be killed in one fell swoop. If they ran separately, they might be able to escape. Do you think you can escape? Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he activated the immortal weapon. Whoosh! 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 The immortal weapon shot out 4 terrifying beams of light at Su Zhongtian, Duge Xiao, Wu Guangyuan, and Zhang Jiao. The 4's expressions changed drastically. They quickly took out all kinds of defensive magic treasures to block the attacks. However, it was useless. The magic treasures they took out were instantly destroyed by the 5-dragon wheel. Then, the 5-dragon wheels' attacks landed on their bodies. Bang! 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 4 dull sounds of collisions were heard. The 4 experts' bodies exploded, their bodies and souls destroyed on the spot. The immortal weapon was indeed an immortal weapon. It was so powerful that even they could not resist it. Go and take their storage rings, Lin Feng said. Then, he quickly chased after Su Miaoqing. Su Miaoqing's face was as pale as paper when she saw the other 4 experts killed. Lin Feng, are you really going to kill us all? Su Miaoqing asked with a pale face. Lin Feng smiled and said, If I wanted to kill you, do you think you would still be alive? What do you want in order to let me go? Su Miaoqing asked. Let you go? Lin Feng sneered. Do you think that's possible? I'm very interested in keeping a peerless beauty like you as my slave. Lin Feng held the Vidra Wolf Fang mace and smashed out again and again. Any ice beast that was hit by the Vidra Wolf Fang mace was smashed to death. The Vidra Wolf Fang mace was a treasure that was suitable for extremely powerful cultivators. It could be used with the most violent power to destroy everything. Those ice beasts were immediately frightened by Lin Feng and quickly retreated, making way for Lin Feng. Lin Feng chased after Su Miaoqing as fast as lightning. You can't escape! He sneered and smashed the Vidra Wolf Fang mace at Su Miaoqing. With Lin Feng's current strength and the Vidra Wolf Fang mace, even a peak giant god realm powerhouse would be smashed to death by him. Bang bang bang, 3 consecutive attacks were launched. The energy that wrapped around Su Miaoqing was smashed away by Lin Feng. Su Miaoqing's magic power was scattered and her body fell down. Seeing this, Lin Feng quickly flew over and grabbed Su Miaoqing's waist. Let go of me! Su Miaoqing's beautiful face turned pale. Chapter 2249. What? Are you afraid now? Lin Feng sneered at Su Miaoqing. This woman who looked like a goddess on the outside but was actually a scheming woman on the inside had finally fallen into his hands. Do you only know how to bully a little girl like me? What kind of man are you? Su Miaoqing snorted. What the hell? How can someone like you be called a little girl? Many men aren't as black-hearted as you. Please don't insult the word little girl, alright? Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. Su Miaoqing gritted her teeth, but she still put on a pitiful expression and said, I was wrong in the past. I can guarantee that I won't cause trouble for you in the future. I can give you endless wealth, and I can even persuade Dugu Di Tian not to make an enemy out of you. I'm sure you know what kind of power the Su clan is. It's better to have one more friend than one more enemy, right? Lin Feng said indifferently. Su Zhongtian has already died at my hands. The hatred has already been sown. What's the point of saying all this now? Su Miaoqing was delighted when she saw that Lin Feng's tones seemed to have softened. She hurriedly said, As long as I deal with them, the Su clan won't make things difficult for you. Don't worry about that. I'm still confident in myself. Lin Feng said indifferently. Is that so? But why don't I believe you? I've always wanted to take you as a slave. Since the hatred between the Su clan and me has already been sown, I have nothing to worry about. When Lin Feng finished talking, he raised his right hand. Purification power swirled around Lin Feng's fingertip. Su Miaoqing was very knowledgeable, so she immediately recognized the purification power. Her pretty face couldn't help but turn ugly. Lin Feng tapped Su Miaoqing's forehead lightly, and the purification power entered her mind. It then quickly flew towards Su Miaoqing's soul. When Lin Feng found Su Miaoqing's soul, he frowned. This was because Su Miaoqing's soul was hidden in a small golden bell. This small golden bell was Su Miaoqing's natal magic treasure. Su Miaoqing had placed it in her mind to protect her soul. This was what Lin Feng was thinking. Lin Feng placed his natal treasure, the primal chaos ancient lamp, in his mind. Its purpose was to protect one's soul. If one's physical body died, one could even possess another body and be reborn. However, if one's soul died, Death's soul would be beyond redemption. The purification power that surged into Su Miaoqing's mind was blocked by the small golden bell. Su Miaoqing's natal treasure was very special, but it was Su Miaoqing's soul. You're not bad. Lin Feng glanced at Su Miaoqing indifferently. Su Miaoqing said, I have this little golden bell protecting my soul. You won't be able to refine me. Why don't we talk about the terms of our reconciliation? Lin Feng said. Do you really think I can't break your golden spiritual bell? You are gravely mistaken. Of course, I have a way to break your golden spiritual bell. However, I have some urgent matters to attend to, so I won't waste any more time. As for you, I will first suppress you for a period of time. Once I have the time, I will break your golden spiritual bell and convert you into my slave. Lin Feng took out the 4 ferocious cauldrons. Then, he threw Su Miaoqing into the cauldrons to suppress her. Lin Feng, you can't do this to me. Lin Feng, we can talk about conditions. You can name any conditions you want. Su Miaoqing shouted. Lin Feng said indifferently. I'm not interested in talking about conditions with you. Lin Feng then kept the cauldrons in his mountain river ring. Lin Feng did not stay any longer and flew upward. He flew for more than 1,000 meters. Lin Feng saw that there was a huge crack on the ice wall. Inside the crack, there was an astonishing fluctuation that was being emitted. Lin Feng was shocked. He looked inside the crack. His expression changed slightly. There was a man sitting cross-legged inside the crack. The man had a tall and sturdy body, like a god of war. He did not deliberately release his aura. That kind of qi came out naturally, but even if it was just a natural qi, Lin Feng still felt a chill run down his spine. It was hard to imagine how terrifying this cultivator's cultivation was. He doesn't look like a living person, the demon lord said. Could it be a corpse? Lin Feng muttered. He carefully flew toward the crack. However, when Lin Feng approached the crack, a terrifying pressure enveloped his body. Crack, crack! That oppressive strength was too strong. Lin Feng's physical body started cracking. He was astonished. Lin Feng tried to release his epic aura to dissolve the pressure, but it was useless. The epic aura was dispersed by the pressure emitted from the man's body. Lin Feng's heart was filled with shock. How powerful was this mysterious man's cultivation to be able to release such a terrifying pressure? Senior, this junior did not mean to offend you. Please forgive this junior's rash behavior. Lin Feng hurriedly said. As soon as Lin Feng finished speaking, the terrifying pressure on him dissipated. Thank you, Senior. Lin Feng thanked the man and quickly left. Demon Lord, is that really a corpse? Said Lin Feng. His heart was pounding. How powerful was that mysterious man? It was hard to imagine. The Demon Lord said. I can't be sure whether it's a corpse or not. It's too strange. Lin Feng put away the fear in his heart and said, There are always some unknown and terrifying existences in this world. He didn't stop and quickly left the huge glacial abyss. Then, he met up with Du Zhu and the evil dominator wholly outside. The poison ancestor grinned and said, Did that woman run away? Lin Feng said, No, she's been sealed in the 4 vicious cauldrons. Du Zhu said, Young master, are you trying to keep a mistress in a golden house? Keep a mistress my ass. At most, she's just a slave. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's go to the Snow Tribe. I wonder how they are doing? Lin Feng said. If not for the Snow Tribe's crisis, Lin Feng would not have been in the mood. Otherwise, he would not have minded taking his relationship with Su Miaoqing a step further. Du Zhu and the evil dominator wholly nodded and quickly flew to the depths of the Arctic tundra with Lin Feng. Half a month later, Snow City finally appeared in Lin Feng's sight. We're here, Lin Feng said. The Snow Tribe has many beauties. I wonder how many of them are your old lovers, young master? That's why you're in such a hurry to come here. The poison ancestor asked with a grin. Chapter 2250. Of course, Du Zhu was a scoundrel. However, Du Zu's guess was not completely wrong. Lin Feng said calmly. I do have one close female friend. Just one person? Du Zu laughed mischievously. Lin Feng said. Of course. At least for now. Ha 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 ha, it seems like there's a new target. Du Zu grinned. How about you introduce me to a few? Lin Feng laughed. Don't even think about it. If you have any bad ideas, don't think about those big sisters of the Snow Clan, Du Zu said. I'm just kidding. The three of them continued flying forward. When they got close to the Snow Clan, Lin Feng saw that the Snow Clan's restrictions had been fully activated. Outside the Snow Clan's territory, there were many cultivator armies. These cultivator armies were probably from the Ice Clan. The Snow Clan has been surrounded. The ground in front of the city is blood red. It seems like there have been many fierce battles here, Du Zu said. Lin Feng nodded. Fortunately, the Snow Clan's territory has not been breached yet. Are we going to barge in now? Du Zu asked. That's right. Let's barge in, Lin Feng said. Whoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng soared into the sky and flew toward the depths of the Snow Clan. Not long after, the three of them arrived at the place where the Ice Clan's cultivators were stationed. Someone is trespassing. Kill them! The Ice Clan's cultivator army immediately shouted when Lin Feng and the other two were discovered. Kill them! A dense army of cultivators appeared. They waved their spears and swept them toward Lin Feng, Du Zu, and the evil Dominator Sage. The cultivator army attacked together, gathering their essence, chi, and spirit. The combat power that erupted from them was incomparably terrifying. After all, ants could bite an elephant to death if there were too many of them. In the face of the overwhelming attacks, Lin Feng did not fight them head-on. Instead, he took out the purple gold heavenly ball. This pseudo-emperor level magic treasure protected Lin Feng, Du Zu, and the heretic Dominator Saint as they quickly flew towards the depths. Bang 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 bang, all kinds of attacks came at him. These attacks bombarded the defensive light shield formed by the purple gold heavenly ball. Sounds of violent collisions could be heard. Fortunately, the purple gold heavenly sphere's defensive power was strong enough to block the cultivator army's attacks. Soon, Lin Feng and the other two arrived at the bottom of the city wall. Open the restriction and let us in! Lin Feng shouted in a deep voice. Who are you? One of the cultivators guarding the city asked. Master, it's Master. In the distance, a ferocious beast roared excitedly. The other three ferocious beasts also quickly flew over. These four ferocious beasts were the dark subduing devil beast, the single-horned fierce god tiger, the silverback crimson armored beast, and the flaming three-tailed demonic wolf. They were previously subdued by Lin Feng. When Lin Feng left Snow City, he left the four ferocious beast overlords behind to guard the city. The four ferocious beast overlords were powerful and were entrusted with important positions in Snow City. That young master is the master of the four ferocious beasts? Many people were shocked beyond words. The four ferocious beast overlords were high and mighty figures in the eyes of many people. Such powerful figures were actually the servants of someone else? What are you waiting for? Open the restriction! The four ferocious beast overlords roared at the same time. The spirit formation masters guarding the city wall quickly opened the restriction and let Lin Feng, Du Zu, and the heretic Dominator Saint into the city. Greetings, Master! The four ferocious beast overlords all bowed to Lin Feng. They could have transformed into human form long ago, but they had never done so. Many ferocious beasts still preferred to maintain the appearance of their own race even after they had cultivated their cultivation. It was as if we wanted humans to live as leopards, tigers, or lions. Were they not used to it? Not only were they not used to it, but they would also resist it. The ferocious beasts were the same. You may rise! Lin Feng waved his hand. Bring me to see Shuezime, Shuezihua, and the others! Lin Feng said. Yes, Master, please follow us. The four ferocious beast overlords hurriedly said and led the way. After the group of people left, many people started talking about Lin Feng. Who was he? Along the way, Lin Feng learned about many things that had happened in recent years. The Snow clan had gradually recovered under the leadership of Xue Zihua and the others. The Snow clan had also recruited many experts and formed their own cultivator army. Originally, the Ice clan did not dare to provoke the Snow clan. However, just as the Snow clan's revival was in sight, two things happened. The first was the betrayal of the Snow clan's grand elder, Xue Qianwu. Xue Qianwu was the sister of the previous clan leader. Xue Qianwu originally thought that after her sister died, she would inherit the position of clan leader. However, Xue Qianwu did not expect that the position of clan leader would be inherited by Xue Zihua. At that time, Xue Zihua was still very young and was only the adopted daughter of her sister. Xue Qianwu was naturally not convinced. Lin Feng had interacted with Xue Qianwu a few times before and knew that this woman was very ambitious. This betrayal of the Snow clan was probably because the Snow clan was getting stronger day by day, so Xue Qianwu could not see any hope of replacing Xue Zihua. Therefore, Xue Qianwu led a portion of the Snow clan and a portion of the cultivator army to betray the Snow clan. Then, she cooperated with the Ice clan to deal with Xue Zihua, Xue Zimei, and the others. The second thing was that a mysterious force had appeared to secretly help the Ice clan. Moreover, the large cultivator army outside was mostly transferred by that mysterious force. As for why that mysterious force attacked the Snow clan, no one knew. The news of Lin Feng's arrival had already been reported to Xue Zihua, Xue Zimei, and the others. When Lin Feng arrived at the Snow clan, Lin Feng saw Xue Zihua, Xue Zimei, Xue Xilan, Xue Zizhu, Xue Ziju, Xue Xiling, Xue Zixian, Xue Xian, Xue Fei, and the others all came out to welcome him. After seeing Lin Feng, they were all very happy. Even Xue Zihua could not help but feel relieved. During this period of time, she had been worried sick about the Snow clan's future. Now that Lin Feng had arrived, she felt very relieved. For some reason, she felt a trace of relief. This was a very strange feeling. It seemed that as long as Lin Feng was here, no matter what happened, she did not need to worry. As long as Lin Feng was here, no matter what happened, it could be solved. It's good to see that everyone is fine. Later, let's talk about the various dangers that the Snow clan encountered, Lin Feng said. The others quickly nodded and then entered the Snow clan's territory. At the same time, Chapter 2251. Sitting in the hall were the Snow clan's grand elder Xue Qianwu, the Ice clan's grand elder Bing Yilong, and 5 or 6 higher-ups of the Ice clan, including the Ice clan's patriarch, Bing Jingtian. However, Bing Jingtian was just a puppet of the Ice clan. The true leader of the Ice clan was the grand elder. In addition to these people, there was also a mysterious cultivator shrouded in a black robe. His appearance couldn't be seen clearly. However, the mysterious cultivator's body was emanating waves of chilling aura. That aura made everyone present feel a sense of trepidation. And this mysterious cultivator was the backer of the Ice clan. However, even the Ice clan's grand elder didn't know who this mysterious cultivator was. The only thing he knew was that he had to obey this mysterious cultivator's orders. Xue Qianwu, tell me about the Devil Pagoda, the black-robed cultivator suddenly said. Xue Qianwu was slightly stunned. The Devil Pagoda was the Snow clan's secret. It had been suppressed by the Snow clan for many years. Now, the Snow clan's mission was to protect the suppressed Devil Pagoda. They even asked Lin Feng to help strengthen the seal of the Devil Pagoda. Very few people knew about the secret of the Snow clan's Devil Pagoda. However, there was no such thing as an impenetrable wall in this world. It was quite normal for the news to spread. Xue Qianwu's heart couldn't help but tremble. Could it be that this black-robed cultivator's goal was the Devil Pagoda? Xue Qianwu said. The Devil Pagoda is currently sealed. There's basically no special movement. Usually, the Devil Pagoda is guarded by 2 clan elders. People like us rarely have the chance to come into contact with the Devil Pagoda. Unless there's a change in the Devil Pagoda or when the seal needs to be strengthened, We can only enter the space where the Devil Pagoda is located. How many guardians are there now? The black-robed cultivator asked. 2. Xue Qianwu answered honestly. The 2 guardians had been guarding the Devil Pagoda since Xue Qianwu could remember. They had never left. Xue Qianwu heard from the older generation cultivators. No one knew when the 2 guardians started guarding the Devil Pagoda. Now that she heard the black-robed cultivator talking about the Devil Pagoda, Xue Qianwu immediately felt that the 2 guardians might have a great background. These 2 people really have lived for a long time. The black-robed cultivator narrowed his eyes, which flickered with a sinister expression from time to time. My lord, when will we launch the final attack on Snow City? The great elder of the Ice Clan asked. There's no rush. There was no rush. He still had to wait for a few more people to arrive. Once you make a move, you must kill him in one blow, the black-robed cultivator said. The people from the ice race were very confused. Judging from the number of cultivators they had, it wouldn't be difficult for them to take down Snow City. Why was the black-robed cultivator still waiting? Only Xue Qianwu could vaguely guess the reason. After the meeting was over, the black-robed cultivator summoned the ice race's grand elder. Xue Qianwu, keep an eye on this woman. When the city is breached, capture this woman. At that time, this woman and the rest of the ice tribe will become sacrifices. I will use their blood as a sacrifice to the demon tower, the black-robed cultivator said sinisterly. The Ice Clan's great elder shuddered and asked cautiously, Master, what's the origin of the Snow Clan's demon tower? Humph! Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. Otherwise, you'll bring death upon yourself, the black-robed cultivator said coldly. Yes, this subordinate will remember, the Ice Race's grand elder said hurriedly, his face pale from fright. Snow Clan's meeting room. Xue Zihua told Lin Feng in detail about many things that had happened during this period. Lin Feng frowned slightly and couldn't help but ponder. Regardless of whether it was the Ice Race or the Snow Clan, they weren't particularly powerful forces in the 9 states. Without the support of that mysterious force, even with Xue Qianwu's help, the Ice Race wouldn't be a threat to the Snow Clan. Clearly, the fuse that triggered the Snow Clan's crisis wasn't the alliance between the Ice Race and Xue Qianwu. It was the mysterious force that had suddenly appeared. The fact that this force was able to mobilize a large number of cultivator armies meant that this force was very powerful. What was such a powerful force scheming? Moreover, there were so many cultivators in the army, but they hadn't launched an all-out attack on Snow City. The previous attacks were all probing attacks. There was no need for that at all. Unless, the mysterious force behind the Ice Race was waiting for an opportunity. That was why they hadn't attacked the city. The Snow Clan wasn't that powerful and didn't have any powerful treasures. Why would the mysterious force target the Snow Clan? Lin Feng couldn't figure it out. Suddenly, an idea flashed through his mind. Lin Feng thought of the mysterious demonic tower that was sealed in the Snow Clan. Could it be, the mysterious force's target wasn't the Snow Clan, but the demonic tower? However, given the strength of that force, if they wanted to get the demonic tower, there was no need to delay until now. There was only one reason why they could delay until now, and that was because there was someone in the Snow Clan that they were afraid of. The other party's top experts hadn't arrived yet, so they didn't dare to make a move. Lin Feng had to admit that he had a rough idea of the entire situation. The 2 old men guarding the tower. The figures of the 2 old men appeared in Lin Feng's mind. Chapter 2253. Young friend, let's talk inside. An old voice came from the tunnel. All right. Lin Feng nodded and walked into the tunnel. After walking for a long time, Lin Feng arrived at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel was connected to the underground space of the Demon Tower. He entered the underground space and once again saw the demonic pagoda that was suppressed here. The demonic pagoda was chained by 9 thick chains. It was very quiet now, and there were no strange movements. 2 old men were sitting cross-legged in front of the Demon Tower. Lin Feng bowed to the 2 old men and said, Junior Lin Feng greets the 2 elders. It's been almost 10 years since we last met. I didn't expect you to have grown so much. You're really admirable," the old man in green clothes said. Lin Feng said modestly. "Senior, you're too kind. I'm ashamed," another gray-robed old man said. "Little friend, you're too kind. With your current cultivation and some of your hidden techniques, I'm afraid there aren't many cultivators in the 9 provinces who can stop you," thought Lin Feng. As expected, those 2 people weren't simple. They could see through his secrets in one glance. Lin Feng said, "Seniors, you must have heard about the crisis the Snow Clan is facing. I think that their goal is not the Snow Clan, but the Demon Tower," the old man in green clothes said. "That's right. They're here for the Demon Tower, but we can't leave. So, we asked you to come because we have a presumptuous request." "What is it, Senior?" Lin Feng said. The gray-robed old man said, "Those people want to release the demonic pagoda, but they need something to do so. Otherwise, it's impossible to release the demonic pagoda." "Oh? What do they need?" Lin Feng asked curiously. "The blood of the Snow Clan," the old man in gray clothes said. "That's—" Lin Feng frowned. "If that was the case, the Snow Clan would be in great danger," said the old man in cyan clothes. "Back then, the Snow Clan was extremely strong and had a great emperor. When the great emperor was old, the Demon Tower appeared and caused chaos. The great emperor of the Snow Clan sacrificed his life to cut the Demon Tower into 2 parts. The other part escaped and the remaining part has been suppressed. The Demon Tower has been cursed and said that people of the Snow Clan would use their blood to make it free. Now, a gigantic hand has appeared and it seems like it wants to release the Demon Tower. However, if it wants to release the Demon Tower, it needs a huge amount of blood as a sacrifice. The Snow Clan will face the danger of being exterminated. We want you to help us escort the members of the Snow Clan to the ancestral land of the Snow Clan. As long as we can get to the ancestral land of the Snow Clan, those people won't be able to do anything to the Snow Clan. That curse is really vicious." "All right, I'll escort the Shui clan to their ancestral land," said Lin Feng. "Thank you very much, young friend. This is the map to the Snow Clan's ancestral land. Take it, young friend," said the old man in cyan clothes, handing a jade tube to Lin Feng. Lin Feng took the jade tube and said, "Since it's that way, there's no time to lose. I'll take my leave." "All right." The 2 old men nodded. As Lin Feng was about to leave, a voice came from the Demon Tower. "Young man, we haven't seen each other for many years. Why are you in such a hurry to leave? Why don't we sit down and talk?" ********* As the voice came out of the Demon Tower, black fog poured out of it. The black mist began to surge violently. It seemed to blot out the sun. Even the exit was sealed. Back then, when Lin Feng had helped to seal the Demon Tower, the spirit of the Demon Tower had appeared once. At that time, it had created an illusion and wanted to make Lin Feng lose himself in the illusion. Then, it would control Lin Feng's body, but at that time, the spirit of the Demon Tower hadn't fully recovered. Thus, the power it could display was limited. Lin Feng wasn't fooled by the Demon Tower's spirit. However, things were different now. Lin Feng could clearly sense how terrifying the Demon Tower's spirit was. It was clear that the Demon Tower's spirit had recovered its terrifying strength. "I never thought that the seal I'd been strengthening for 10 years would not only fail to suppress you, but it would also allow you to recover even more strength." Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. "I've been accumulating strength for so many years, and now I want to escape. Nobody can stop me. Little boy, why don't you join hands with the Snow Clan? Why don't you join hands with me and kill those 2 old bastards? As long as we kill them, no one can stop me from escaping. I think you should know a little about my origins. I'm a supreme demonic weapon created by the Demon Lord. Back then, the Demon Lord was in existence that surpassed the great emperors. He had collected an unimaginable amount of wealth, powerful abilities, magic treasures, and so on. As long as you cooperate with me, all these wealth, magic treasures, abilities, and everything else will be yours. The Demon Tower's spirit said. One had to admit that the Demon Tower's spirit's suggestion was too tempting. It would be difficult for anyone to refuse it. The expressions of the two old men guarding the tower also became slightly solemn. They were also worried that Lin Feng wouldn't be able to refuse such tempting conditions and cooperate with the Demon Tower's spirit. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes. Demon Lord? Which Demon Lord are you talking about? The Demon Tower's spirit sneered. What? Are you trying to get information out of me? I'm just asking you about the Demon Lord's identity, yet you're not willing to answer. You're so insincere. If I cooperate with you, won't I be tricked to death? Lin Feng sneered. That's an existence that can't be mentioned. If it weren't for some reason. Do you think I would cooperate with you? The Demon Tower's spirit said. Some reason? What reason? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. He had a feeling that the Demon Tower's spirit was implying something. It seemed to be hinting at something. However, the Demon Tower's spirit kept him in suspense. It refused to say anything. Lin Feng had the feeling that the reason behind all of this was not simple at all. Lin Feng said indifferently. If you don't want to say, then forget it. I don't really want to know. Seniors, help me stop this guy. I'll go send the Snow Clan members back to their ancestral land. As soon as he said that, Lin Feng rushed toward the exit. You think you can escape? The Demon Tower's spirit sneered. A man shrouded in darkness walked out from the churning devil energy at the exit. The man directly sent a palm strike at Lin Feng. Chapter 2254. You want to stop me with a mere illusory body? Aren't you being a little too naive? Lin Feng said indifferently. He threw a punch at the man who walked out of the black fog. Bang! The attacks of the two sides collided, and a dull sound of collision was heard. Thump, 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 Lin Feng was forced to retreat. The man who walked out of the black fog was in a much worse state than Lin Feng. He was sent flying by Lin Feng's punch. An even more powerful black fog surged out, and a strange energy escaped from the black fog. The strange energy surged into the man's body, causing his cultivation to skyrocket. The two old men's expressions turned gloomy when they saw this. They hurriedly activated their 9 thick Emperor runes to suppress the Devil Pagoda. The 9 Emperor runes were like 9 giant dragons, swaying violently in the air. Powerful Emperor's aura emanated from the runes and surged into the Devil Pagoda, suppressing it. Finally, the black fog stopped surging out of the Devil Pagoda. Demon exterminates gods! The man shouted coldly and attacked Lin Feng with an extremely powerful divine ability. Demon exterminates gods. Who can compete with it? An ancient devil condensed and pounced at Lin Feng. How powerful! It actually has its own consciousness and knows how to use divine abilities. What kind of existence is this? Lin Feng was extremely puzzled. The existence before him didn't seem to be formed by a divine ability. The Devil Pagoda's spirit's technique was too strange. It made Lin Feng's hair stand on end. He didn't know what kind of strange method the spirit of the Devil Tower had used to condense a man formed from devil chi with his own consciousness. Facing the Demon Exterminates God's attack, Lin Feng directly used the divine ability, Stoneman Gazing Sea of Clouds. This divine ability was exceptionally powerful. When it collided with the man's Demon Exterminates God's attack, the man's divine ability shattered. Then, the attack landed on the man's body. Bang! A violent explosion was heard. The man's body, which was formed by devil chi, exploded. But before Lin Feng could let out a sigh of relief, a voice rang out. Something terrifying happened again. After the man's body exploded, it quickly reassembled. Damn, what's going on? Lin Feng couldn't help but exclaim. The Demon Pagoda's gloomy voice rang out. Brat, stop your pointless struggle. No matter how great your methods are, you won't be able to leave this place. Right now, you must be filled with doubts as to whether there is some sort of relationship between you and me, right? To tell you the truth, there is some fate between you and me, so I don't want to kill you. If you cooperate with me, I can tell you a lot of things, including the Devil Lord. I can also tell you, and solve all the doubts in your heart. What fate do you have with me? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. The Demon Pagoda's spirit said, I can't tell you this yet. When I get out, you'll be able to know everything you want to know. The Demon Pagoda's spirit was constantly tempting Lin Feng, wanting to make Lin Feng cooperate with it. In fact, Lin Feng believed some of the Demon Pagoda's words. For example, there might be some inexplicable connection between him and the Demon Pagoda's spirit. But so what if there was a connection? Lin Feng definitely wouldn't cooperate with the Demon Pagoda's spirit. Once it got out, it would probably cause great suffering. Moreover, if the Demon Pagoda's spirit wanted to get out, it would need the blood of the Snow Clan. How could Lin Feng just stand by and watch the Snow Clan's people get killed? Boom! He took the initiative to attack the man formed by Devil Chi. Since you don't know what's good for you, then die here. Kill him. The Demon Pagoda's cold voice rang out. The man formed by Devil Chi didn't dare to hesitate after receiving the Demon Pagoda's order. He immediately launched the most violent attack on Lin Feng. Devil Kingdom in the palm. A Devil Kingdom appeared in the man's right hand. The Devil Kingdom quickly expanded and enveloped Lin Feng, instantly swallowing Lin Feng. Lin Feng was sealed in the Devil Kingdom in the palm. The man coldly shouted, Explode! Bang! 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 The Devil Kingdom in the palm exploded. Waves of destructive power surged out. The man clearly wanted to kill Lin Feng in the Devil Kingdom in the palm. Whoosh! But at that moment, Lin Feng rushed out of the Devil Kingdom in the palm. Lin Feng's body was protected by the purple gold globe, so he didn't suffer any damage from the Devil Kingdom in the palm. After rushing out, Lin Feng sent a palm strike toward the man. His palm was surrounded by the power of karma. This was the supreme Tao of Buddhism, capable of suppressing ghosts and demons. Lin Feng's divine ability was perfectly capable of suppressing the man formed by Devil Chi. Bang! The punch landed on the man's body. The power of karma surged into his body. Ah! The man let out a shrill cry. His body exploded again under the effect of the power of karma. His body failed to reconstruct itself. Lin Feng couldn't help but smile. He had finally gotten rid of this strange existence. He didn't stop and quickly rushed out. The spirit of the Devil Pagoda bellowed, Kid, going against me won't end well. You are currently on the wrong path. In the end, you will die a miserable death. Lin Feng sneered. Let's see who will die a miserable death then. Young friend, we'll leave the Snow Clan to you. The two old men said. Don't worry, I'll do my best. After saying that, Lin Feng rushed out. Soon, Lin Feng returned to the surface and saw Xue Zihua, Xue Zimei, and the others. Did you see the two seniors? Xue Zihua asked. Lin Feng nodded. I saw them, but there's something urgent I must do. What is it? Xue Zihua asked. According to the two seniors, we must move the Snow Clan members to the ancestral land. Lin Feng said. Move them to the ancestral land? Are we giving up on Snow City? Xue Zihua's expression flickered. Many of the Snow Clan's members were related to the Snow Clan, and some of them even married into the Snow Clan. There were also many cultivators who had joined the Snow Clan. If they gave up on Snow City, they might all die here. Xue Zihua didn't want to go that far. Lin Feng said. We're not giving up on Snow City. The people hiding in the dark want to use the Snow Clan's blood to build the Demon Pagoda, then release it. If you leave now, it won't be easy for them to do so. Once you reach the ancestral land, I'll return to Snow City and fight alongside the cultivators. I won't let so many innocent people die. When they heard Lin Feng's words, the Snow Clan's members were shocked. Xue Zihua, Xue Zimei, Xue Xilan, Xue Ziju, Xue Ziju, Xue Xiling, Xue Zixin, Xue Xian, Xue Fei, and the others felt their hearts soften. They all had the same feeling. It was great to have Lin Feng by their side. They finally had someone they could rely on. Chapter 2255. There weren't many people in the Snow Clan. There were men and women, young and old. Altogether, there were only 30,000 people. Lin Feng told Shui Zihua and the others to gather the members of the Snow clan and get on the Xianyuan ship. Lin Feng rarely put people into his mountain river ring. First, it was because the ring was a small world of its own. This was Lin Feng's secret. The fewer people who knew about it, the better. Second, the mountain river ring itself was a broken small world. It contained a terrifying space-time power. The internal space of the mountain river ring was not stable. If the cultivators were to run around in the mountain river ring, it was very likely that they would die very miserably. Third, Lin Feng kept all his treasures in the mountain river ring. Naturally, he couldn't put people inside casually. Fourth, if there was a big battle, the mountain river ring would be damaged. The space inside the mountain river ring wasn't stable. If it was damaged, the inside of the mountain river ring would collapse. A terrifying destructive force would erupt. At that time, many people would die in the mountain river ring. Therefore, Lin Feng wouldn't put people in the mountain river ring. Bibi and Dragon Rabbit were in the mountain river ring. Lin Feng wasn't worried. They were powerful and wouldn't be in danger. When he put little Meng Meng in the mountain river ring, Lin Feng was very worried about her safety. He especially told Bibi and Dragon Rabbit to take good care of her. Now, the Snow clan had boarded Lin Feng's Xianyuan ancient ship. His Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship was very powerful and had an amazing defensive power. Moreover, its attack power was very strong. Therefore, it was safer to leave on the ancient ship. Of course, not everyone in the Snow clan left. Some people had to stay behind to take care of the city. More than 10 elders of the Snow clan chose to stay and lead the cultivator army of Snow City to resist the attack of the Ice clan. Rumble! The ancient starship Xianyuan soared into the sky and quickly flew outside. When the Ice Race's cultivator army that surrounded Snow City, most of them were cultivator armies dispatched by the black-robed men, but in order to hide their identities, they were all incorporated into the Ice Race's cultivator army, discovered that the Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship was about to leave and immediately began to attack it. Boom boom boom! Overwhelming attacks bombarded the Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship. However, the Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship was powerful enough. Therefore, the defensive restrictions created by the Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship could not be broken by the cultivator army. The ancient Starry Sky ship Xianyuan successfully broke through the encirclement of the army and quickly flew in the direction of the Snow clan's ancestral land. The ancestral land of a force was often the last secret of the force. Unless it was absolutely necessary, the ancestral land would not be easily opened. Once the ancestral land was exposed and found, this force might really disappear from the world. The ancient starship Xianyuan jumped through the void. He quickly headed towards the ancestral land of the Snow clan. 3 days later, a terrifying demonic light tore through the void. The demonic light ruthlessly bombarded the Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship Xianyuan. Bang! Along with the dull sound of the collision, there was a loud sound. The Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship was blasted out of the parallel space by the demonic light. You can't escape! A cold voice rang out. The surrounding black fog rolled and covered the sky. The one who spoke was a black-robed man. The black-robed man held a pitch-black demonic pagoda in his hand. Lin Feng's eyes twitched when he saw the demonic pagoda. The demonic pagoda's shape and runes were exactly the same as the demonic pagoda suppressed by Snow City. Clearly, the demonic pagoda in the black-robed man's hand was an imitation of the mysterious demonic pagoda. However, even though it was just a replica, it was still extremely terrifying. It emitted a heart-palpitating fluctuation. Waves of destructive power surged out, distorting the void around the demonic pagoda. The Snow clan members became worried when the Xianyuan ancient starship Xianyuan ancient Starry Sky ship was intercepted. Shui Zihua, Shui Zimei, and the others hurriedly tried to calm them down. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic sovereign saint walked out of the cabin and onto the deck. Are you the one who wants to release the demonic pagoda? Lin Feng glanced at the black-robed cultivator indifferently. This person was clearly an expert of the demonic path. There were many branches of the demonic path in the 9 provinces. There were many powerful factions, and some of them were more high-profile and famous. However, there were also many demonic factions that kept a low profile, but they were even more powerful. Many demonic factions liked to make a fortune in silence. The black-robed cultivator glanced at Lin Feng and said, "Who are you? How dare you interfere with the Snow Clan's affairs? Who gave you the guts? Don't you know that you're courting death? I'll give you a chance to hand over the Snow Clan members and scram as far as you can. You might still be able to keep your life. Otherwise, you'll die without a grave. Do you believe me?" The black-robed cultivator was extremely arrogant and didn't place Lin Feng's group in his eyes at all. "Who do you think you are? How dare you make such a big fuss in front of this young master?" Lin Feng crossed his hands behind his back. The black-robed cultivator was arrogant, but he was even more arrogant. "I'll give you a chance as well. Kneel on the ground and repent for your ignorance and stupidity, and I'll spare your life." Chapter 2256. He's blocking our way, yet he's still shooting his mouth off. This guy is clearly stalling for time, Du Zhu said in a solemn voice. Lin Feng also noticed this and nodded. Then, he waved his right hand and shouted, "Fire! Rumble!" The giant spirit stone cannonballs stretched out and aimed at the black-robed cultivator. Boom! 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 The giant spirit stone cannonballs shot out one after another. These giant spirit stone cannonballs were so powerful that they locked onto the black-robed cultivator. "Petty tricks!" The black-robed cultivator sneered and urged the imitation devil pagoda. Swish! 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 The replica devil pagoda swept out one devil light after another, and those devil light bombarded the giant spirit stone cannonball. All the giant spirit stone cannonballs exploded, but they couldn't hurt this person at all. The black-robed cultivator couldn't help but reveal a smug expression. However, just as this smug expression appeared, he suddenly felt a shadow rushing towards him. He saw the Xianyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship ramming towards him at lightning speed. The Xianyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship was so huge that it was like a moving mountain in the air. The impact was simply unimaginably terrifying. The black-robed cultivator wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Bang! Along with a dull collision sound, the black-robed cultivator's body was sent flying by the Xianyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship. Wah! The black-robed cultivator felt as if he had been struck by lightning and couldn't help but vomit blood. "Kill him!" Lin Feng shouted. The 9 demons picture flew out and rushed towards the black-robed cultivator. Du Zhu and Heretic Sovereign Sage didn't bring out their treasures. Instead, they urged the 9 demons picture together with Lin Feng to attack the black-robed cultivator. Boom, boom, boom! The Xianyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship's giant spirit stone cannonballs also shot out a dense number of spirit stone cannonballs. They bombarded the black-robed cultivator. At the same time, the Emperor runes of the Xianyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship awakened. The Emperor runes swept towards the black-robed cultivator. The black-robed cultivator looked aghast. He hadn't expected such an unforeseen event. Facing all kinds of attacks, he hurriedly urged the devil imitation tower in his hand to resist all kinds of attacks. However, although that demonic pagoda was powerful, it was only a replica. This replica couldn't completely withstand all kinds of attacks. The black-robed cultivator was sent flying. Bang! One of his arms exploded. "My arm! Little bastard, you deserve to die!" The black-robed cultivator roared furiously, his eyes brimming with killing intent. Although his mouth was very arrogant. However, the black-robed cultivator no longer dared to fight Lin Feng and the others head-on. He hurriedly retreated, trying to distance himself from Lin Feng and the others. "Leave your life!" Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. The 9 demons diagram, the giant spirit stone cannon, and the Emperor runes continued to bombard the black-robed cultivator. At that very moment, the black-robed cultivator was already wounded. Thus, it became even more difficult for him to block the attack. After 3 consecutive waves of attacks, the black-robed cultivator's demonic pagoda was blasted away. His injuries were even more serious than before. Lin Feng and the others wanted to unleash their might and kill the black-robed cultivator. However, they didn't expect that at this moment, several cold shouts would resound. Courting death. Following those cold shouts, Yizichen's voice fell. Immediately after, the void split open. 4 cultivators stepped forward. All 4 of them were also wearing black robes. Their auras were cold and terrifying. Their auras were much more terrifying than the first black-robed cultivator. They all stretched out their hands. A thick beam of demonic light shot out from each of their palms. The thick beams of demonic light pierced through the void, their power unbelievably strong. The 9 demons diagram was blasted away, and the spirit stone cannon was destroyed one after another. The emperor runes that the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship swept out were also scattered. Even the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship was blasted thousands of meters away. If not for the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship's powerful defensive restrictions, the attacks of these 4 black-robed cultivators would have caused unimaginable damage to the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship. The other 4 demons of Blue Underworld Mountain. Lin Feng frowned slightly. These 4 people were stronger. Naturally, it would be more difficult to deal with them. Even Lin Feng felt that it was extremely troublesome. "Fifth brother, are you all right?" The other 4 looked at the black-robed cultivator with the severed arm. "I'm fine," the black-robed cultivator with the severed arm said. Then, his severed arm regrew. It instantly recovered to its original state. "Damn, that works too?" Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. However, the methods of these demon cultivators were very strange. Therefore, it wasn't unacceptable to see this black-robed cultivator regrow his severed arm. "Kid, you're quite capable. You can actually injure the 5 emperors. We don't kill nameless people." "Who are you? Tell us your name," said a strong cultivator coldly looking at Lin Feng. "Dragon Sect Master." "Lin Feng. So you're the Dragon Sect Master of the Sea region. What does the Snow Clan's matter have to do with you?" The second black-robed cultivator looked coldly at Lin Feng. "It involves a lot of things." Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. The third person narrowed his eyes and couldn't help but sneer. "Seems like you're quite the sentimental one." "What? Does the Snow Clan have your woman?" It had to be said that these guys were quite intelligent. They could guess many things at once. Lin Feng glanced indifferently at the 5 demons of Blue Underworld Mountain. He didn't answer the third person's question. Instead, he asked, "What are your names?" "Tsang Wu Xian, Tsang Wu Jin, Tsang Wu Zhang, Tsang Wu Jiao, Tsang Wu Zong." The 5 of them said one after another. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes. "You haven't made a move for so long. Why did you choose to make a move now? If I'm not wrong, the strength of the 5 of you is already greatly weakened. You didn't make a move when you're strong, but when you're relatively weak. It's really puzzling." The one who had been injured earlier was called Tsang Wu Zong. He sneered and said, "That's because we've been trapped in the Forbidden God world for so long. If we hadn't been trapped there, how could our cultivation have declined?" Lin Feng was stunned by Tsang Wu Zong's words. The Forbidden God world? That mysterious world where countless experts were imprisoned. If he remembered correctly, the seal he had opened on Lightning Dragon Island was the one that connected to the Forbidden God world. He had seen the 5 Yazis charge out of the Forbidden God world. After the 5 Yazis had left, Lin Feng had hurriedly left as well. As for whether or not some terrifying creature had come out of the Forbidden God world, Lin Feng didn't know. When he heard that the 5 demons of Blue Underworld Mountain were creatures that had come out of the Forbidden God world, he was shocked. Could it be that these guys were also released by him? Chapter 2257. When he thought of this, Lin Feng couldn't help but smile bitterly. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that he had accidentally released the 5 devils from the forbidden god world. If that was really the case, it would be a huge mistake. Of course, Lin Feng didn't want to release the 5 devils. When he had opened the seal, he didn't know where it led to. "Did you guys come from the Lightning Dragon Sea region?" Lin Feng asked. The 5 devils were stunned. "That's right. We came from the Lightning Dragon Island." "How did you know?" When the 5 devils had appeared, Lin Feng had already left. Thus, the experts who had escaped from the Forbidden God world hadn't seen Lin Feng. Thus, they were puzzled. They didn't know how Lin Feng knew where they had come from. Lin Feng said, "I was the one who opened the seal." The 5 devils of Dark Abyss Mountain were somewhat surprised. Song Wuzong said, "I didn't think that there would be such a connection. It seems like we are fated." Sung Wu Xian was the leader of the 5 demons of Sungming Mountain. He narrowed his eyes and said to Lin Feng, "Since we managed to escape thanks to you, we'll give you a chance to live. Hand over the members of the Snow Clan and we'll spare your life." "Is that so?" Lin Feng's lips curled up in a cold smile. Song Wuzhen said, "Something's not right. This kid is stalling for time. Attack!" Sengming Mountain's 5 devils' faces suddenly sank, and all of them attacked the ancient starship Xianyuan. The 5 devils were heaven-defying. If they besieged the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship, they might really be able to break through the ancient starry sky ship. Once the 5 devils broke through the Xuanyuan's defenses, the Xianyuan would be destroyed. Then, the 30,000 Snow Clan members on the Xianyuan would die tragically. Lin Feng had already thought of that when the other 4 demons of Songming Mountain had appeared. These fellows were indeed too powerful. Therefore, Lin Feng didn't have any plans to continue fighting with the 5 devils of Azure Underworld Mountain. While he was conversing with the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain, he had already begun to set up a grand formation in secret. The 5 devils of Sengming Mountain were too confident in themselves. They felt that no matter what little tricks Lin Feng did, it would not be able to escape their eyes. However, the reality was that the 5 devils of Azure Underworld Mountain had underestimated Lin Feng's ability. As the successor of the Celestial Master Taoism, if Lin Feng couldn't set up the Great Void Formation under the guise of the heavens, he would be able to do so. If that were the case, then he would be a failure as the successor of the Celestial Master Taoism. By the time the 5 devils of Sungming Mountain realized that something was wrong, Lin Feng had already quietly set up the Great Array. The Void Array Lin Feng set up was a space-time teleportation array. He had set up 2 space-time transference grand arrays. The first space-time transference grand array enveloped the 5 devils of Blue Underworld Mountain. The second space-time transference grand array enveloped the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship. The 2 space-time transference grand arrays moved the 5 devils of Blue Underworld Mountain and the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship in opposite directions. If the 5 devils of Blue Underworld Mountain hadn't been too confident in themselves and didn't guard against Lin Feng, with their strength, they might have been able to discover that Lin Feng was secretly setting up a grand formation. If they had tried to stop Lin Feng at that time, Lin Feng's plan would have failed. But it was already too late. The space-time transference grand array wrapped around the 5 devils of Blue Underworld Mountain. Not good. The faces of the 5 devils of Blue Underworld Mountain turned incomparably gloomy. Shwa! In the next moment, a light flashed and the 5 devils of Blue Underworld Mountain were teleported out. The Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship was also teleported out. Both sides were teleported in opposite directions. The distance between the 2 sides was a total of 200 miles. It was such a long distance. The 5 devils of Blue Underworld Mountain wanted to catch up to Lin Feng and the others. 10 days later, the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship finally arrived at the Snow Clan's ancestral land. The Snow Clan's ancestral land was located in the Arctic frigid land, where the temperature was minus 99,000 degrees Celsius. Even Lin Feng was shivering from the cold here, let alone other cultivators. However, the people of the Snow Clan weren't affected. The colder the place, the more comfortable it was for the Snow Clan. The Arctic frigid land was basically a place where no one would come, because the temperature here was too cold. Even a giant god realm expert would freeze to death if they stayed here for too long. In addition, there were many powerful fierce beasts running amok here. There were also many terrifying restrictions scattered in every corner of the Arctic frigid land. If one encountered these fierce beasts or restrictions, the slightest carelessness could lead to death. Such a dangerous place was naturally unfrequented by humans. There were 3 clan elders guarding the Snow clan's ancestral land. Apart from them, there was no one else. These 3 clan elders were different from the 2 old men guarding the pagoda. Their strength wasn't outstanding. Lin Feng sensed that the 3 of them should be in the heavenly god realm. This kind of cultivation could only be considered average. The Snow clan's crisis was already set in stone. Fortunately, there's a place like this that can protect our clan, so that we won't lose our heritage. One of the clan elders muttered to himself. He led the way and arranged a place for everyone to stay. Let's rest for a day before we leave. Shuezime looked at Lin Feng lovingly, biting her red lips. Lin Feng had originally wanted to return to Snow City directly, but after thinking about it, it didn't seem to be a bad idea to wait a day. In that case, it wouldn't be too late to rest for a day and return. He nodded. Shuezime's eyes were like silk, and she seemed very happy. Shuezihua noticed the change in expression between Lin Feng and Shuezime. She couldn't help but show a thoughtful expression. After arranging a place to stay, the men and women of the Snow clan gathered together to worship their ancestors. There was a huge ancestral hall here, where the ancestors of the Snow clan were worshipped. Lin Feng, Duzu, and the heretical holiness saint had nothing to do, so they followed along. The first ancestor of the Snow clan was a woman. She was known as the Snow Goddess. Rumor had it that she was a spirit born in the snow, and later cultivated her cultivation. The Snow Goddess's origins are extremely great. Rumor has it that she was a close friend of the Master of Gods. Duzu said. Oh? There's such a thing? Lin Feng couldn't help but rub his chin. He suddenly thought of the immortal ancient cemetery. The place where the Master of Gods was buried. In the immortal ancient era. An expert who dominated the world. The expert who created the immortal cultivation system. The word, immortal, didn't originally exist. The Master of Gods had created this word, and he divided the realm of immortal. He defined the cultivation system above the Great Emperor. This was after the fall of a sentient life form. The first expert to break through the shackles of the Great Emperor, and break through to the immortal realm. There were far too many rumors about the Master of Gods. Lin Feng hadn't expected the Snow Goddess to be a close friend of the Master of Gods. Chapter 2258. We pray for the ancestors to protect the Snow clan. Let the Snow clan continue to exist. We pray for the ancestors to protect the Snow clan. Let the Snow clan continue to exist. We pray for the ancestors to protect the Snow clan. Let the Snow clan have new strong cultivators. Let the Snow clan become strong again. We won't be bullied anymore. Under the leadership of the 3 elders, the members of the Snow clan were praying sincerely. They hoped that the ancestors would bring them good luck. Said Duzu. In the Snow clan, the strongest cultivators are women. Maybe it has something to do with the inheritance of the Snow clan. Lin Feng agreed. The Snow Goddess was a fairy born in the snow. She was the first person to have appeared in the Snow clan. She was a woman. Perhaps, starting from the Snow Goddess, the destiny of the Snow clan had been decided by the women. Actually, as time passed, the Snow clan had started to have outstanding cultivators. Most of them were women. Of course, it didn't mean that the Snow clan's men weren't strong. Nothing was absolute in the long history of the Snow clan. In the long history of the Snow clan, there had been some strong men, but they hadn't been able to dominate the Snow clan. After the ceremony, everybody dispersed. Most of the Snow clan's clansmen had gone back to rest during this period of time. When they arrived at the ancestral land of the Snow clan, it was already evening. Therefore, by the time the ritual ended, The sky had already darkened. At night, Shuezime went to Lin Feng. I haven't had a chance to be alone with you. Have you been well? Asked Shuezime. Everything's fine. Lin Feng nodded. Late at night, Lin Feng faintly heard a song. In the season of flowers blooming and withering, I walked in the mountains. You appeared there. The sun shone on your resolute face. You were so handsome. You asked me what I was called? I didn't know I had a name until now. I didn't know how to answer you. I just stood there and looked at you. You called me Ashue. You held my hand as we strolled through the mountains. No matter how many years have passed, I will never forget meeting you in that empty valley after the rain, getting to know you. When the song started playing, Lin Feng woke up with a start. The song in the middle of the night reverberated in his mind. It was extremely strange. Lin Feng didn't disturb Shuezime. He got up and walked outside. Who is singing so late at night? He muttered to himself. Duzu and the heretical dominator saint got up after hearing the noise. They walked out of the room and into the courtyard. Can you guys hear the song? Lin Feng asked. Singing? Duzu and the evil dominator saint were surprised. Then they shook their heads and said, I didn't hear any singing. Lin Feng nodded and said, Go back and sleep. Duzu and the evil dominator saint went back. Lin Feng stood in the middle of the courtyard, looking at lone moon. There were no stars in the surroundings, and the lonely moon seemed so cold. My name is Ashue. I met you in that empty valley after the rain. We held hands as we walked through the flowers. I asked you how long you loved me. You said forever. After Duzu and the evil dominator saint left, Lin Feng was alone. That singing voice sounded once again. Lin Feng followed the song out of the courtyard. Finally, he came to the ancestral hall of the Snow Clan's ancestral land. In the darkness, the moonlight shone down. A woman in snow-white clothes stood in the small square in front of the ancestral hall. Her back was to Lin Feng. She was singing. She sang that beautiful song. That song. It contained the longing and memories of her lover. When Lin Feng arrived, he saw Lin Feng. She didn't continue singing. Who are you? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. He looked at the woman curiously. He didn't expect the woman to walk into the ancestral hall after hearing Lin Feng's voice. Lin Feng chased her all the way into the ancestral hall. The ancestral hall was filled with spirit tablets. Those spirit tablets were obviously the ancestors of the Snow Clan. Whoosh! There was a flash of light. A figure flashed into the inner hall. Lin Feng chased after her. But when he arrived, he didn't see anyone. He only saw a jade talisman. A snow-white jade talisman. When he saw the jade talisman, Lin Feng's eyes twitched violently. Martial talisman! It was actually a martial talisman. Lin Feng had collected 3 bluestone talismans before, and then he had combined the 3 talismans into one. After absorbing the power of the bluestone martial talisman, his martial soul had completed its evolution. After that, Lin Feng collected 2 more fire demon martial talismans. But there was still a fire demon martial talisman left in the starry sky world. Lin Feng hadn't been able to find the 3rd fire demon martial talisman. If he could find the 3rd fire demon martial talisman, then Lin Feng's martial soul would be able to evolve again. What Lin Feng didn't expect was that he would see a 3rd martial talisman here. He hurriedly picked up the martial talisman. Lin Feng's divine will entered it. A mass of information flowed into Lin Feng's mind. Snow God martial talisman. A martial talisman that accompanied the birth of the Snow God. After the Snow God died, the martial talisman split up. If he could find 3 Snow God martial talismans, his martial soul could evolve once. And there was a certain chance of learning the Snow God's supreme inheritance. Snow World collapse. Snow World. It was also one of the 3,000 great worlds. This divine ability was called Snow World collapse. Could it be that once the divine ability was used, it could cause a great world to collapse? Thinking of this, Lin Feng felt a chill run down his spine. Wasn't this too terrifying? Could it be that this move, Snow World Collapse, was an immortal technique? Lin Feng suddenly remembered that Du Zhu had said that the Snow God was the master of God's confidant back then. Therefore, the Snow God's true strength might be in immortal. If the Snow God was an immortal, then the Snow God's divine ability should be in immortal technique, level divine ability. Lin Feng was about to leave. At this time, an old woman appeared in the main hall. "Young master, why did you come to the ancestral hall so late at night?" the old woman asked. Seeing this old woman, Lin Feng's expression suddenly froze. Who was this person? This old woman wasn't among the 3 elders of the Snow Clan. Could this be a hidden expert of the Snow Clan? When the Snow Clan entered the ancestral land, this old woman didn't appear. But now she appeared. What was her purpose? Lin Feng couldn't help but guess. His expression also became slightly serious. Because Lin Feng felt that this old woman had suddenly appeared. She must have some unspeakable secret. Chapter 2259. This junior wasn't in the mood to sleep, so I walked into the ancestral hall. "If I've offended you, please forgive me. This junior didn't mean to," Lin Feng said. The old woman said. "I didn't mean to offend you. Perhaps it's your fortune to be able to come here and obtain the Snow God Talisman." Clearly, Lin Feng hadn't managed to hide the fact that he had obtained the Snow God Talisman from the old woman. The old woman continued. "Go back. Don't tell anyone that you saw me." "Yes, this junior will remember," Lin Feng said hurriedly. He then bowed to the old woman before leaving. After Lin Feng left, the old woman entered a room deep in the ancestral hall. There was a memorial tablet in the room. The words, "Snow God Shueyuluo," were written on the tablet. Clearly, Shueyuluo was the name of the Snow God. The Snow God and the Lord of Gods met on a rainy afternoon. This was the origin of the name Yuluo. The Snow God was a spirit born in the snow, so her surname was Shui. The Lord of Gods liked to call the Snow God Shui. Of course, when they met, he wasn't the Lord of Gods yet. She wasn't the Snow God either. At that time, they were still very young. For love, they were filled with anticipation and longing. No matter how strong they were. There were times when they were young. There were times when they could give up everything for love. "Ancestor, your prophecy has come true. The descendant of the Lord of Gods has appeared and taken away the Snow God Talisman. In your prophecy, you said that if the descendant of the Lord of Gods appeared and took away the talisman, the gods would reappear in the world in the near future. They would follow the descendant of the Lord of Gods and carry the banner of resistance against the Armageddon War." The old woman muttered to herself. Who exactly is this old woman? She's guarding the ancestral hall and doesn't allow me to tell anyone. Does the Snow Clan not know of her existence? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. The Snow Clan was filled with secrets. This clan was too ancient. Usually ancient clans like them were filled with secrets. However, with the passage of time, the once powerful Snow tribe also weakened. The next day, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint set out to return. "Be careful." Everyone sent Lin Feng off. "Don't worry, nothing will happen," Lin Feng said. He didn't stay for long, and he left with Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign saint on the Xianyuan ancient starship. On the way back, the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship carried the 3 of them. Therefore, the ship's speed increased a lot, and it only took them 7 days to return to the Snow City. The cultivator army still had not besieged Snow City. Lin Feng knew that the other party was definitely waiting for an opportunity. "My lords, the spaceship that left has suddenly returned and entered Snow City. The great elder of the ice race came to report. This kid really doesn't know what's good for him." The 5 devils of Tsengming Mountain revealed cold killing intent on their faces. When had they ever been schemed against? However, he was tricked by Lin Feng. This made the 5 devils of Tsengming Mountain lose a lot of face, and they had endless killing intent towards Lin Feng. Now that Lin Feng had returned, The 5 of them couldn't wait to charge into Snow City and kill Lin Feng. However, the 5 of them knew that now was not the time to make a move, so they didn't act rashly. Seal off Snow City. Now only entry is allowed, no exit is allowed. Tsang Wuzong ordered. Yes, my lord, this little one will go and give the order now, the great elder of the ice race hurriedly said and then quickly left. Lin Feng returned to the space of the demon suppression pagoda. The people of the snow race have returned to their ancestral land, he said. The 2 old men guarding the pagoda heaved a sigh of relief. Keek, it's useless. Don't forget that some people have betrayed the snow race and are now cooperating with the ice race. Using the blood of these people to build the demon pagoda can also unlock the seal. The spirit of the demon pagoda laughed sinisterly. The spirit of the demon pagoda was very sensitive to what was happening outside. It could even be described as the back of its hand. It even knew that Shui Qianwu had led a group of snow race members and the cultivator army to betray the snow race. Thinking of Shui Qianwu and the others, Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. Boom, boom, boom! Suddenly, a powerful demonic light shot out from the demon pagoda and into the clouds. Earth-shattering waves of energy swept across the sky. Whoosh! Whoosh! The demon pagoda began to madly attack the 9 thick chains that locked the pagoda. The 9 emperor runes on the chains awakened. Therefore, it attacked the chains several times. The demon pagoda couldn't break the 9 chains. Break! 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 A loud roar could be heard. The spirit of the demon pagoda revealed itself. It was a mysterious existence shrouded in darkness. It was impossible to see what kind of existence it was. It roared at the sky again and again. The time has come. Attack! The 5 devils of Tsangming Mountain flew out. Woo woo woo! The sound of a bugle horn resounded outside. Attack! 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 Then, a loud roar could be heard. The 5 million cultivators outside began to attack the city. City breaching ballistae. Formation breaching dragon chariot. And so on. All kinds of large-scale siege weapons were used. Snow City naturally defended with all its might. Both sides engaged in a fierce battle. I'll go outside and take a look, Lin Feng shouted and rushed outside. He saw a black mass of cultivators surrounding Snow City. Young master, the enemy has too many cultivators. Moreover, there are experts like the 5 devils of Tsangming Mountain. I'm afraid Snow City will be breached soon, Du Zhu said in a deep voice. How many people are there in Snow City? Lin Feng asked. About 1 million people. Among them, there are 300,000 cultivators and 700,000 residents, Du Zhu said. Snow City definitely won't be able to hold on. Once the city is breached, the whole city will be massacred. It seems like we have no choice but to move, Lin Feng said. It won't be easy to move 1 million people away, the evil dominator sage said. Lin Feng waved his right hand. Glass bottles flew out one after another. The glass bottles were half filled with water. Apart from the half-filled bottles of water, there was an ancient ship sealed in each of the glass bottles. This is... Du Zhu was shocked. The evil dominator sage said, Are these the ancient warships obtained from the 9th Evil Dragon Palace's treasury? Lin Feng nodded and said, That's right. When the 9th Evil Dragon Palace was destroyed, we obtained a batch of ancient warships that we haven't used yet. There are about 500 of them. I kept 100 of them for myself in case of emergencies. I didn't expect to find a use for them today. An ancient warship like this can easily accommodate 30,000 people. We only need 30 of them to move the people of Snow City. Chapter 2260. Lin Feng gathered the cultivator army and organized the residents of Snow City to board the ancient warships. The only thing they had to worry about now was whether or not the cultivator army would launch a frenzied attack on the ancient warships. Keep in mind that if so many cultivators were to launch a frenzied attack on these ships, many of them would be destroyed. However, Lin Feng did not have time to think about that. A large number of residents boarded the ancient warships. The cultivator army's attacks were getting fiercer. Snow City's restrictions would not be able to last for long. Therefore, Lin Feng made use of the time to get everyone to board the ancient warships. The two of you will lead everyone to break out of the encirclement. Lin Feng looked at Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign saint. What about you, young master? Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign saint asked. I'll stay. The devil pagoda has appeared. I need to see what will happen next. Take the people of Snow City and leave for now. Wait for things to calm down before returning to Snow City, Lin Feng said. Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign saint knew that Lin Feng was a very opinionated person. Since Lin Feng had made up his mind, they could not change Lin Feng's decision. Crack, crack, the restrictions covering Snow City began to shatter. Let's go! Lin Feng shouted. Rumble! Under the lead of the Xianyuan ancient ship, 33 ancient warships soared into the sky. Then, they crushed the void and flew into the distance. These ancient warships were covered in restrictions. They could fly in the air, sail on the sea, and even enter the deep sea. The fleet chose a place with fewer cultivators to break out of the encirclement. Crack, crack, finally, the grand formation protecting Snow City was completely destroyed. Kill! Earth-shaking shouts rang out. Then, a large number of cultivators swarmed towards Snow City. Fire! The temporary captains of the ancient warships gave the order to fire. The Xianyuan ancient ship was at the front. A dense barrage of spirit stone cannonballs shot out and exploded in the crowd. In an instant, broken limbs were everywhere. It was unknown how many cultivators were killed. Humph, you want to break out of the encirclement? No way. Destroy that fleet. Sang Wuzong sneered. Army attack! Roars rang out. A large number of cultivators rushed toward the ancient warships. A huge battle broke out between the two sides. Many cultivators were killed by the spirit stone shells. However, some ancient warships were also destroyed by the cultivators. Snow City's cultivators and citizens were slaughtered. This was war. War was always cruel. Let's go and check the Devil Pagoda. Sang Wuzong, the 5 devils of Sang Wuzong flew quickly. They didn't care about the cultivator's life and death. They were only concerned about whether the demonic pagoda could escape or not. We can't. Sung Tsang bang. Bang! In the next moment, they were sent flying by the force of the demonic tower. The 2 old men spat out mouthfuls of blood, their faces as pale as paper. No one can trap me! Ha 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 ha! After so many years, I'm finally going to break free! The Devil Pagoda's spirit let out a long roar. Following that, the Devil Pagoda that was chained by the 9 chains began to grow bigger and bigger. It didn't take long for the pagoda to reach a height of 100,000 meters. The Black Pagoda gave off a chilling aura. Runes covered the surface of the pagoda. These runes were very mysterious and ancient. Lin Feng didn't dare to look at them carefully. If he continued to stare at those runes, Lin Feng felt like his head was about to split open. The Devil Pagoda's spirit appeared. He had turned into a dark demonic beast. The dark demonic beast's appearance couldn't be seen clearly, but he could see a pair of blood-red eyes and 2 large horns. All these years of waiting weren't in vain! The Devil Pagoda's spirit roared excitedly. Hurry up and use the Snow Clan's blood to water the pagoda and help me break free! The Devil Pagoda's spirit shouted. Cultivators, listen to my order. Slaughter all the Snow Clan's people! Tsang Wu Xian shouted. After receiving Tsang Wu Xian's order, many cultivators abandoned the ancient warships they were attacking and began to surround the Snow Clan's cultivators. Go! Du Zhu shouted. He led the fleet to break out. In the end, the fleet paid the price of losing 5 ancient warships and successfully broke out. This was also thanks to the enemy's cultivators killing each other. Most of the cultivators gave up on attacking the ancient warships. If these cultivators continued to attack the ancient warships, more ancient warships would be destroyed. More people would die. We are allies! Why are you killing us? Many Snow Clan's people roared unwillingly. These people began to break out under Shui Qianwu's lead. But Shui Qianwu only led a group of about 5,000 people. How could they break out from the army? Moreover, the cultivators that Shui Qianwu took away had betrayed her. If they continued to follow Shui Qianwu, they would only die. When faced with a choice between life and loyalty, these cultivators chose life without hesitation. Pooh! 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 A large number of Snow Clan's cultivators were killed. Ha 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 ha, this is great! This is the smell of Snow Clan's blood! The Devil Pagoda's spirit roared excitedly. Why is this happening? I want to become the head of Snow Clan! I want to become the head of Snow Clan! Shui Qianwu roared hysterically. Her dream was to become the head of Snow Clan. In order to become the head of Snow Clan, she even betrayed the Snow Clan. But now, the reality was too cruel. Shui Qianwu could not accept it. Die! A cultivator charged towards Shui Qianwu, wielding a blood-red saber as he slashed towards Shui Qianwu's head. When Shui Qianwu regained her senses, it was already too late to dodge. She laughed bitterly. She did not expect her ending to be like this. She schemed to become the head of Snow Clan. But in the end, she ended up in such a miserable state. It was really sad and laughable. Pooh! Suddenly, a head flew into the sky and blood splattered everywhere. The cultivator who attacked Shui Qianwu died. His headless corpse fell from the sky. Then, Shui Qianwu saw a familiar face. Lin Feng. She naturally remembered him. Why did you save me? Shui Qianwu asked. She really did not know why Lin Feng saved her. In the past, Shui Qianwu even tried to kill Lin Feng. However, she failed. There was only resentment between the two of them. There was no friendship. Hence, Shui Qianwu did not know why Lin Feng saved her. I said that you will become my slave. Now that you have not become my slave, how can I let you die? Lin Feng looked at Shui Qianwu's beautiful face and said. Chapter 2261. Lin Feng was her savior, but when she saw Lin Feng's handsome face, Shui Qianwu only had one thought in her mind. That was to send this bastard flying into outer space with a single punch. The gratitude she had for Lin Feng for saving her was all thrown out the window because of Lin Feng's words. Look, that kid is really a sentimental person. He actually ran into the army to save that woman called Shui Qianwu. Tsang Wu Zong pointed at Lin Feng's direction with a mocking and disdainful expression on his face. In his opinion, if one wanted to achieve great success on the path of cultivation, one should have no distractions. Women were an important factor that hindered one's cultivation. Lin Feng's actions had already fallen to the bottom in Tsang Wu Zong's eyes. The other four demons glanced at Lin Feng with a cold glint in their eyes. They wanted to kill Lin Feng. Now that they saw Lin Feng, they naturally wanted to get rid of Lin Feng immediately. Shoot that brat to death, Tsang Wu Xian ordered. The densely packed cultivator army took out their specially made magic bows and magic arrows. Swoosh, 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 a dense barrage of arrows shot out. They were even denser than rain. Those arrows were all enchanted with arrays and were extremely powerful. Shui Qianwu's face turned as white as paper when she saw those arrows. We're dead, she said with a trembling voice. If she could live, Shui Qianwu didn't want to die. Although this woman was ambitious, she also cherished her life. She hadn't lived enough yet. What are you afraid of? Lin Feng said indifferently. He took out the purple gold heavenly ball, a defensive magic treasure. The purple gold heavenly ball was activated. Suddenly, a large amount of divine light gushed out and enveloped him and Shui Qianwu. Lin Feng grabbed Shui Qianwu's hand and rushed into the distance. A large number of arrows were blocked by the defensive divine light released by the purple gold heavenly sphere. Having a top-notch defensive magic treasure could save one's life in many cases. Just like now. The surrounding cultivators, on the other hand, were not as lucky. When the dense rain of arrows fell, it caused an indiscriminate attack. It not only attacked Lin Feng and Shui Qianwu, but also the cultivator army that wanted to surround Lin Feng and Xue Qianwu. Lin Feng and Xue Qianwu were protected by the purplish-gold heavenly sphere. Thus, they were not harmed. However, the surrounding cultivators did not have such a powerful defensive magic treasure. Puff! 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 Following a series of tearing sounds and miserable screams, a large number of cultivators were killed by the arrows fired by their own side. These people probably couldn't believe that they had died just like that. They were really unwilling. But even if he was unwilling, what could he do? War was merciless. On the other hand, the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain were even more ruthless. They simply didn't care about the life and death of the cultivator army. If they cared about their life and death, they wouldn't give the order to fire the arrows. Lin Feng and Xue Qianwu rushed out of the encirclement. Sang Wuzong scolded. That brat really has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. I will personally kill him, Sang Wushuan said. That brat is not worth mentioning. The most important thing now is to release the Devil Pagoda. Everything else is secondary. Sang Wuzong, who originally wanted to go to Lin Feng, could only nod his head. Among the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain, Sang Wushuan was the boss. He was only ranked 5th. Naturally, he had to listen to the boss. 5,000 Snow Clan cultivators were killed. Xue Qianwu's face was pale as she watched this scene from afar. Her hands were tightly clenched together. If not for me, they wouldn't have died. Xue Qianwu gritted her teeth and said. Lin Feng said indifferently. They deserve to die. Traitors shouldn't have a good ending. You cold-blooded animal. Xue Qianwu stared fiercely at Lin Feng. Am I wrong? Lin Feng said indifferently. Traitors are the most despicable. Especially when they betrayed their own clansmen. That's even more despicable. I will kill you first. Xue Qianwu slapped her palm towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He directly suppressed Xue Qianwu and threw her into the 4 vicious cauldrons to accompany Su Miaoqing. Blood cast! Sengming Mountain's 5 devils shouted. The Snow Clan cultivators' corpses were thrown above the Devil Pagoda. Bang, 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 the corpses exploded. They turned into blood rain. It descended. The blood rain poured onto the Devil Pagoda, onto the 9 chains and onto the Emperor runes. The Devil Pagoda, the 9 chains that locked the Devil Pagoda, and the 9 thick Emperor runes on the 9 chains. They were all absorbing the blood rain. Lin Feng looked at this scene indifferently. Just like what he said to Xue Qianwu, he hated traitors. Especially traitors who betrayed their own clansmen. This made Lin Feng feel even more disgusted and hateful. Lin Feng would not sympathize with them no matter how miserable their fate was. Boom, boom, boom! As the Devil Pagoda absorbed the blood of the Snow Clan cultivators. An even more terrifying energy surged out from the Devil Pagoda. That energy could destroy the heavens and earth. It was shocking. It was moving. Lin Feng took a deep breath. It seemed that the curse was about to come true. Using the blood of the Snow Clan cultivators to cast the Devil Pagoda. At that time, the Devil Pagoda would be born. It was obvious that the Devil Pagoda was about to be born. Crack, crack. Meanwhile, the 9 thick chains that bound the demonic pagoda were breaking apart. Even the 9 Emperor runes on the chain were cracking non-stop. The Devil Pagoda soared into the sky. It wanted to break the chains and the Emperor runes. However, after several attempts, it ended in failure. The chains and the Emperor runes. They could not be broken so easily. Not enough! Not enough! Far from enough! I want blood, more blood. If there is no blood of the Snow Clan, then use the blood of ordinary people to cast the Devil Pagoda. The Devil Pagoda's spirit roared. However, this time, the 5 devils did not follow the pagoda's instructions. What are you lowly servants waiting for? Why aren't you following my orders? The Devil Pagoda's spirit looked coldly at the 5 devils. Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. Why did the Devil Pagoda call the 5 devils slaves? This made him somewhat puzzled. The Demon Lord seemed to know what Lin Feng was thinking. He said, The Demon Lord is the Lord of all demons, So all demons are slaves in front of the demon lord. As the spirit of the demon lord's natal treasure, it is not strange for the pagoda's spirit to see other demons as slaves, Lin Feng said. But this fellow forgot that the demon lord is dead. Keek keek. At that moment, a gloomy voice resounded between heaven and earth. Crack, crack. Then the void cracked. The other demonic pagoda flew out. Chapter 2262. Another Devil Tower! Lin Feng stared at the flying Devil Tower in shock. Wait! These two Devil Towers were originally one. Is the second Devil Tower the part that escaped back then? Lin Feng quickly understood what was going on. Back then, the Devil Tower had been cut in two. One had been suppressed. The other had escaped. Now, the two Devil Towers were reunited. Milord! When the second Devil Pagoda appeared, the 5 devils of Tsengming Mountain bowed towards it. No need for formalities, the second Devil Tower said. Between heaven and earth, not a sound could be heard. Everyone's gaze turned towards the 2 demonic pagodas. These 2 Devil Towers, they were mysterious and unfathomable. They were incomparably powerful. Everyone was silently waiting for the situation to develop. Thus, they all felt that these 2 Devil Towers were not easy to deal with. A tower spirit has actually appeared, the first Devil Tower's spirit said coldly. The second Devil Tower also manifested a Devil Tower's spirit. What surprised Lin Feng was that the second Devil Tower's spirit was exactly the same as the first Devil Tower's spirit. Even the form of the Devil Tower's spirit is an imitation of mine. It seems that your accomplishments are destined to be limited, the first Devil Tower's spirit said. The second Devil Tower's spirit said sinisterly. This is because I want to devour you and let the 2 Devil Towers fuse into one. That way, the Devil Towers will be restored to their former appearance. You want to devour me with just your strength? How laughable. Who do you think you are? The first Devil Tower's spirit said disdainfully, not showing any respect to the second Devil Tower's spirit. This is no longer your era. You're still trapped, yet you still dare to be so arrogant? You're simply courting death. The second Devil Tower's spirit sneered. The spirit of the first demonic pagoda said, If it's not my era, could it be the era of an impostor like you? Remember this, impostors will always be impostors. They can never replace the real thing. The spirit of the second Devil Pagoda mocked. Do you know why the 5 devils of Azure Underworld Mountain would rather help me than you? It's because you're too self-righteous. Now that the Devil Lord is dead, you're no longer the high and mighty spirit of the Devil Pagoda that followed by the Devil Lord's side. You're now just a lowly prisoner, yet you're still flaunting your prowess. Who are you showing off to? You don't even have the slightest bit of self-awareness. You're destined to be abandoned by everyone. They're just a bunch of lowly slaves. Why would I care about them? The spirit of the first demonic tower sneered. The expressions of the 5 devils of Tsengming Mountain were extremely ugly. The spirit of the first demonic pagoda was clearly cursing the 5 of them as lowly slaves. Lin Feng muttered in his heart. The spirit of the first devil pagoda was truly arrogant. As expected of an existence that followed the Devil Lord. The Devil Master had been dead for who knew how many years. This guy's arrogance had yet to be toned down. The spirit of the first demonic tower continued. I am a god that was born after the Devil Lord gathered Xianpin Qi and fused it with the great age heavenly Tao origin immortal Qi. You, on the other hand, are merely an artifact spirit born from a broken demonic tower. In front of me, you're just a lowly existence. If you submit to me now, I can give you a chance to attach yourself to another treasure. Otherwise, you'll die without a proper burial. The spirit of the second demonic tower sneered. Aren't you being too self-righteous? So what if you're a god? God sounds nice, but isn't it still the spirit of a demonic tower? How much higher level can you be compared to me? Artifact spirits and gods were essentially the same. The only difference was that gods were stronger and of a higher level. Artifact spirits were more common, while gods were rarer. Of course. Artifact spirits could evolve. When artifact spirits continued to evolve, they would have the chance to evolve into a higher level god. However, the path of evolution for artifact spirits was much more difficult. A lowly artifact spirit naturally can't compare to a noble god. It's like comparing a beggar to an emperor. You're just asking for humiliation. The spirit of the first demonic tower sneered. It was as arrogant as ever, looking down on the spirit of the second demonic tower. Lin Feng muttered in his heart. The spirit of the first demonic tower was really arrogant. However, this fellow was still trapped, yet it was already so arrogant. Would it die a horrible death? I can't be bothered to talk so much nonsense with you. Today is the day you die. The spirit of the second demonic tower sneered. Boom! Immediately after, the spirit of the second demonic tower attacked. A palm strike struck the spirit of the first demonic tower. The spirit of the first demonic tower wasn't to be outdone. It attacked as well. It attacked the spirit of the second demonic tower. Bang! Both sides collided. The spirit of the first demonic tower was actually pushed back by the spirit of the second demonic tower. The spirit of the first demonic tower's expression changed abruptly, as if it couldn't believe that it had been pushed back. The spirit of the second demonic tower said, "What? Do you find it strange? You've been trapped for so many years, so it's only natural that your strength has weakened. You are no longer my match. Once I devour you, I will evolve into a new god, and you will become a thing of the past. When the demonic towers become one, who can contend against me?" The spirit of the second demonic tower was about to attack again. However, the spirit of the first demonic tower hurriedly returned to the tower. What's going on? Not fighting because of fear? You want to defend to the death? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. The current situation was indeed very unfavorable for the spirit of the first demonic tower. It had been trapped for so many years. It still hadn't escaped. Moreover, it had no helpers. It wasn't like the spirit of the second demonic tower, which had experts like the 5 demons of Ashen Underworld Mountain helping it. No matter how one looked at it, the spirit of the first demonic tower would lose this battle. Thus, the spirit of the first demonic tower had chosen to avoid the battle and take a defensive stance. In fact, this was the most correct method. However, if it just focused on defense, it didn't seem like a wise choice. It's useless. Even if you take a defensive stance, you won't be able to prevent the fate of being devoured. The spirit of the second demonic tower sneered. Then, he began to chant an incantation. As he chanted the incantation, the body of the first demonic tower actually burned fiercely. This is a sacrificial technique? He couldn't help but be shocked. He had cultivated the great sacrificial technique. Thus, he more or less had some understanding of sacrificial techniques. The Demon Lord said, "He's using the blood of the Snow Clan cultivators that the demonic tower just absorbed as a sacrifice. He probably wants to use the sacrificial method to defeat the spirit of the first demonic tower. What a good plan, what a good plan." The demonic tower was bathed in blood, but it didn't let the spirit of the first demonic tower escape. The spirit of the first demonic tower was happy for nothing. Now, the blood it absorbed is going to become a sacrifice for the sacrificial technique, becoming something that will take its life. Lin Feng couldn't help but exclaim. He was very impressed by the spirit of the second demonic tower's scheme. The spirit of the first demonic tower had obviously been tricked by the spirit of the second demonic tower. This time, it was likely that it would be doomed eternally. Chapter 2263. Lin Feng did not participate in the battle between the two towers. He only watched from afar. The 2 old men from the Snow Clan did not participate in the battle either. Similarly, they stood in the distance and watched quietly. The 2 of them knew that they were powerless to reverse the situation, so they did not interfere. "You want to sacrifice me? Don't even think about it." The first tower's spirit's furious voice rang out. Following that, numerous runes flickered. The shocking runes emitted violent fluctuations, shaking the void and obliterating the power of sacrifice. It's useless. No matter how you struggle, you can't escape the fate of being sacrificed, the second tower's spirit said coldly. The 5 devils of Sengming Mountain flew out and helped the second tower's spirit deal with the first tower's spirit. That's an immortal Grand Tao. It can disintegrate all resistance. Suddenly, low voices rang out one after another. The 5 devils of Sengming Mountain had used the Great Disintegration Art, one of the 3,000 Grand Taos. The 3,000 Grand Taos were rather strange. It had no offensive power. However, it could disintegrate all sorts of willpower. Originally, the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain were filled with the will to resist. But now, they were slowly being disintegrated by the Great Disintegration Art. No! I can't accept this! The first tower's spirit roared unwillingly. He wanted to break the Great Disintegration Art, but after many attempts, he failed every time. The 5 of us joined forces to use the Great Disintegration Art. Is it still not enough to disintegrate your willpower? There's no need to resist. Any resistance is useless before us. You're destined to become a thing of the past. You'll die here, the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain said coldly. Now they had joined forces. They were very confident in their own abilities. The first tower's spirit continued to struggle. He was unwilling to die just like that. However, his struggles and resistance seemed to be futile. Why is it like this? The first tower's spirit roared unwillingly. His struggles grew weaker and weaker. His resistance grew weaker and weaker. Is the first tower's spirit really going to be killed? Lin Feng could not help but frown when he saw this from afar. He felt that something was amiss, but he could not pinpoint what was wrong. The spirit of the first demonic tower might have been very powerful in the past, but it was no longer its era. A new Devil Tower spirit was born. Furthermore, the new Devil Tower spirit had powerful existences like the 5 devils of the Azure Underworld Mountain to help it refine the first Devil Tower spirit. It seemed like it was only a matter of time. No matter how one looked at it, the fate of the first demonic tower's spirit had already been decided and could not be changed. Unless someone helped the spirit of the first Devil Pagoda deal with the spirit of the second Devil Pagoda and the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain. However, the spirit of the second Devil Tower and the 5 devils of Azure Underworld Mountain were so powerful. Who would help the spirit of the first Devil Tower? Moreover, whether it was the spirit of the first or second Devil Tower, either of them were good people. Since none of them were good people, who would help them? In this place, only Lin Feng and the 2 old men could fight. Obviously, it didn't matter if it was Lin Feng or the 2 old men. He had no intention of making a move. The reason why Lin Feng didn't leave was because he wanted to see if there would be a situation where the sandpiper and the clam fought and the fisherman reaped the benefits. If such a situation really happened, it would be for the best. If it didn't appear, it wouldn't be too late to leave. Lin Feng believed in his ability. It wouldn't be difficult for him to leave this place. I curse all of you to die a horrible death. I curse all of you to have a fate 10 times more miserable than mine. I curse all of you to fall into the 18 layers of hell, never to be reincarnated. I curse all of you. The spirit of the first Devil Tower seemed to know that its fate was irreversible, so it began to curse. It kept on cursing the spirit of the second Devil Tower and the 5 devils of Azure Underworld Mountain. The spirit of the second demonic tower said sinisterly, "The curse of a dying man like you is of no use to us. After you die, we will become even stronger and achieve hegemony. But obviously you won't live to see that day, because you will turn into dust and disappear from this world. O great Tao of sacrifice, please send down your supreme power. I will inherit the great will of the Tao of sacrifice and destroy all lowly beings who dare to blaspheme the great Tao of sacrifice." The spirit of the second Devil Tower howled. Rumble! A long river formed from the power of sacrifice was formed. It flowed in the void. The long river of sacrifice surged toward the first Devil Tower. Such a majestic sacrificial power was simply too powerful and terrifying. The spirit of the first Devil Tower was already having a hard time resisting the joint attack of the spirit of the second Devil Tower and the 5 devils of Azure Underworld Mountain. Now, the spirit of the second Devil Tower was displaying its might. The spirit of the first Devil Tower found it hard to resist. No! 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 I can't accept this! The spirit of the first Devil Tower roared in fear, full of unwillingness. However, no matter how much it roared, the outcome was already decided. It was impossible to change it. The spirit of the first Devil Tower's resistance grew weaker and weaker. Bang! Finally, the spirit of the first Devil Tower exploded, turning into a ball of origin energy. Just as the spirit of the second Devil Tower was about to devour the origin energy of the first Devil Tower's spirit, unexpectedly, the spirit of the first Devil Tower, which had turned into an energy source, began to burn fiercely. Damn it! Damn it! You would rather destroy your own origin energy than leave it to me! The spirit of the second Devil Tower couldn't help but roar in anger. In just a few breaths of time, the energy source of the first demonic tower's spirit was annihilated. It died just like that. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. The spirit of the first Devil Tower had followed the Devil Lord back then, and was considered a famous figure. It had schemed for so long. It had thought that it would be able to escape. It had never imagined that it would be schemed against by the spirit of the second Devil Tower and end up dead. If I die, then so be it. Although I didn't get your origin energy, I got the tower body. Now, the 2 towers will merge into one. Ha ha! The spirit of the second Devil Tower laughed heartily. Clang! 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 Next, the spirit of the second Devil Tower made its move. The tower body it controlled crashed into the 9 chains that bound the first Devil Tower. The sound of violent collisions rang out one after another. The 9 chains shattered completely. The 9 Emperor runes on the 9 chains were also destroyed. 2 towers merge into one! The spirit of the second Devil Tower roared in excitement. However, at this moment, inside the first Devil Tower, a cold voice rang out. Nirvana rebirth, undying and indestructible. Chapter 2264. When this voice rang out, everyone present was stunned. Wasn't this the voice of the first tower's spirit? Hadn't this fellow been reduced to ashes? Why was he resurrected? Buzz. Waves of terrifying fluctuations spread out from the spirit of the first Devil Tower. Immediately after, powerful waves of energy blasted toward the second tower and the 5 demons of Ashen Mountain. Bang! Sounds of violent collisions rang out one after another. The second tower and the 5 demons of Ashen Mountain were sent flying. The second tower's body was sturdy, so it didn't suffer too much damage. However, the 5 demons of Ashen Mountain were made of flesh and blood. Although they were powerful, they couldn't withstand the first tower's attacks. Wah! The 5 demons of Ashen Mountain spat out mouthfuls of blood, their faces as pale as paper. Isn't this too dramatic? Lin Feng watched this scene with his mouth agape. He originally thought that the first tower's spirit had died. He didn't expect that it wasn't the second tower's spirit that had schemed against the first tower's spirit. Instead, the first tower's spirit had schemed against the second tower's spirit. He had faked his death to confuse the second tower's spirit. When the second tower's spirit destroyed the first tower's chains and Emperor runes, it had immediately undergone nirvanic rebirth and launched a counterattack. What a good plan. The older the ginger, the spicier it was. This saying was true. No matter what, the first tower's spirit had followed the demon lord for such a long time. It had probably seen too many storms. What kind of schemes hadn't it seen before? Scheming against others? It was an extremely simple matter. The second tower's spirit thought that its plan was flawless, but it had been schemed against by the first tower's spirit. From this, one could see how powerful the first tower's spirit was. There was nothing it couldn't calculate. Attack together and destroy it! The second tower's spirit roared in exasperation. This was because the second tower's spirit was essentially an artifact spirit. The first tower's spirit was a god that surpassed artifact spirits. The second tower's spirit had always felt inferior in front of the first tower's spirit. This was a sense of inferiority brought about by the difference in status. Originally, the spirit of the second Devil Tower thought that it had successfully plotted against the spirit of the first Devil Tower, and the spirit of the first Devil Tower had also fallen. Only then did his sense of inferiority lessen. However, only now did he realize that he wasn't the one who had schemed against the spirit of the first Devil Tower. Instead, it was the spirit of the first Devil Tower that had plotted against him. In terms of life, it couldn't compare to the spirit of the first Demon Tower. In terms of strategy, he couldn't compare to the spirit of the first Devil Tower. This was a heavy blow to the spirit of the second Demonic Tower. This blow was hard for the spirit of the second Demonic Tower to accept, so much so that it became a little crazy. Boom! A great battle instantly broke out. The spirit of the second Devil Tower joined forces with the 5 devils of Azure Underworld Mountain to launch a frenzied assault on the spirit of the first Devil Tower. How can a lowly artifact spirit control the demonic pagoda? How can it display the might of the demonic pagoda? Today, I'll let you know just what kind of power the Fiend Pagoda has. The cold voice of the spirit of the first Devil Tower suddenly rang out. Immediately after, inside the first Devil Tower, waves of terrifying energy surged out. Buzz. Terrifying ripples swept out from the first Devil Tower. Those ripples seemed to be the ripples of death. They could cause indiscriminate attacks, and any cultivator who was enveloped by them would only have a path of death. Run, run, run! After sensing those terrifying ripples, Lin Feng's expression changed greatly, and he hurriedly rushed into the distance. The spirit of the first Devil Tower was simply too terrifying. After escaping, no one could suppress this fellow anymore. This fellow's combat strength was so strong that it made one's heart tremble. Fortunately, Lin Feng was already quite far away from the spirit of the first Devil Tower. Coupled with his fast speed, he quickly escaped more than 10 miles away. Therefore, he wasn't affected by the ripples. However, the densely packed cultivator army was in trouble. Bang! 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 The sound of bodies exploding could be heard one after another. The densely packed cultivator army's bodies exploded one after another. None of the cultivator army who was enveloped by the ripples was spared. Over 1 million cultivator army's bodies exploded, and they died on the spot. The scene before them was like the end of the world. When the cultivator army outside saw this scene, they were so frightened that they quickly retreated, not daring to get close to the center of the battle. These cultivator army were incomparably fortunate. Fortunately, they didn't get close to the battle. Otherwise, they might have received the same order as those who died, and their souls would have already returned to the 9 heavens. Even the spirit of the second Devil Tower and the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain were injured. The spirit of the second Devil Tower had its body pierced, and its demonic aura was greatly reduced. As for the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain, their origin was directly injured. This caused the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain to have extremely ugly expressions. Once any cultivator's origin was injured, it wasn't a small matter. It was enough to take their lives. Go! The spirit of the second Devil Tower shouted. It tore through the void and swept up the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain and the remaining 3 million cultivator army. Then, it quickly left. Where do you think you're going? The spirit of the first Devil Tower sneered. Then, it chased after it. Too savage! This spirit of the first Devil Tower is simply too savage! Lin Feng couldn't help but exclaim. He didn't know how strong the spirit of the first Devil Tower was. It was so strong that it made people despair. Lin Feng and the 2 old men guarding the tower gathered together. At this moment, a dense meteor shower fell from the distant sky. This was a meteor shower, and it was extremely rare. However, the meteor shower before them was somewhat different from ordinary meteor showers. Looking from afar, one could see that the meteor shower had a faint blood-red glow. When the meteor shower fell, the blood-red glow seemed to want to devour the earth. The green-robed old man said, "The stars fall from the sky, the blood-red glow descends upon the world. The 5 decays of heaven and man appear, and monsters and demons appear." Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. He heard the words 5 decays of heaven and man from the old man's poem. This era had already gone through 2,999 great eras, and the current era was the 3,000th great era. Based on time, it was indeed time for the 5 decays of heaven and man to appear. This era had also come to an end. Countless races and living beings would disappear with the end of this era. Only a very, very small number of people could survive. "Senior, what do you mean by this?" Lin Feng asked. "This is a poem on the heaven-shaking stone steel. This poem reveals the signs of the 5 signs of Deva's decay. When the 5 signs of Deva's decay appears, it is also the time when the myriad worlds are at their most chaotic. At this time, all kinds of characters will appear, including immortals, demons, gods, devils, Buddhas, ghosts, and so on. Even those terrifying existences that have been suppressed will break out of their suppression and come into being, just like how the spirit of the first Devil Pagoda broke out of its suppression and came into being. The 5 signs of Deva's decay, which will destroy the myriad worlds, should officially appear now." Chapter 2265. Lin Feng's expression became solemn. The 5 decay of the celestial being was too terrifying. The myriad worlds were destroyed, the old era was destroyed, and the new era began. Death and despair were everywhere. Such a scene, it made people despair. If one wanted to kill someone, they would first go crazy. Perhaps it was because the day of the apocalypse was getting closer and closer. That was why all kinds of monsters would appear one after another. In the last period of time, it was crazy. They might be able to become the lucky ones and survive until the next era began. If they could survive until the next era began, that would be amazing. They would simply become a supreme existence. Just like the living beings in the black fog, they were existences that did not die after the previous era was destroyed. For a very long period of time after the beginning of this era, the living beings in the black fog were all high and mighty existences. Even now, the living beings in the black fog were also existences that were almost impossible to contend with. The 5 decay of the celestial being has appeared. It seems that the myriad worlds are about to enter a period of turmoil. Lin Feng could not help but sigh. He would not complain about anything. He was born in this era. This was his fate. Lin Feng had always been a person who was unwilling to be controlled by fate. Therefore, he would work hard to seek a chance of survival, even if the real apocalypse came. As long as he grasped enough power, he could also protect his family, loved ones, and avoid the 5 decay of the celestial being. Then, he would live until the next era began. Of course, Lin Feng also knew that this was not an easy task. But so what if it was not easy? As long as he worked hard, even if he failed in the end, he would have no regrets. "It seems that the great era of cultivation is about to begin again," the gray-robed elder said. "Since the end of the ancient era, the world has changed greatly. The laws of the world have become more and more unsuitable for cultivation. For such a long time, there hasn't even been a new great emperor. But now, the 5 decay of the celestial being has appeared. This is the last period of cultivation before the apocalypse. Before death, it is often the craziest, so the golden age of cultivation will definitely come. However, in this golden age of cultivation, perhaps only a very small number of people can grasp that trace of luck and become the lucky ones of this era. Yes, cultivators go against the heavens. We are born in this era. If we want to live, we can only madly seize luck. I hope that we won't die when the apocalypse arrives and the era collapses." Lin Feng could not help but sigh. The 3 were very emotional. The appearance of the 5 decay of the celestial being made them feel a sense of urgency. If they could survive. No one wanted to die. Even though the 2 old men guarding the pagoda had lived for a very long time, they did not want to die. The spirits of the first and second demon towers had already left, and the crisis of the Snow clan had been resolved. Lin Feng contacted the poison ancestor and the others who had escaped. Many ships flew back to him. Everyone returned to Snow City again. The people of the Snow clan who had returned to their ancestral land quickly received the news. Xue Zihua left some of the talented members of the Snow clan in the ancestral grounds to cultivate, then led the rest back to Snow City. The spirits of the first and second Devil Towers were engaged in a battle to the death. The second great emperor of He sacrificed more than 3 million cultivators. Through the sacrifice, the second great emperor of With the help of the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain, the second great emperor of However, in the process of the battle, the second great emperor of Sengming Mountain and the 5 devils of Sengming Mountain were severely injured. As a result, both sides ended up with a lose-lose situation. In the end, they all left and disappeared, each looking for a place to heal. This caused quite a stir in the Arctic tundra. Many cultivators in the Arctic tundra watched the battle from afar and saw this unprecedented battle. The Devil Tower. It's actually the legendary Devil Tower. The Devil Lord of the Ancients. Is he the son of the Lord of Gods? I think he's called the Sky-Devouring Demon Master. Back then, he was also a peerless figure. Together with his father, he led an army of 10,000 worlds and launched a peerless battle against unknown and terrifying creatures. It's said that if they hadn't stopped those terrifying creatures, the 10,000 worlds would have been destroyed long ago. That seems to be the case according to the rumors. However, it was too long ago. There are only a few clues about what happened back then. As for what happened in that battle, it has become a mystery now. But the Sky-Devouring Devil Lord is definitely the strongest Devil Lord of this era. Yes, but later on, I heard that the Sky-Devouring Devil Lord's descendant was called the Sky-Devouring Devil Emperor. He controlled the Devil Tower for a short time, but it's said that the Sky-Devouring Devil Emperor suffered a backlash from the Devil Tower. Otherwise, he could have become the new Devil Lord. However, he died prematurely because of that injury. Now that the demonic pagoda has been split into 2 and is heavily damaged, it is time to suppress the demonic pagoda and refine it. This is a supreme treasure refined by the demonic lord. Once it is under our control, we can even dominate the 9 states. Let's go and find the Devil Tower. After hearing about the Devil Tower, many cultivators from the major factions began to search for the Devil Tower. At this time, Xue Zihua and the others had already returned to Snow City. The Snow clan launched an attack on the Ice clan. The current strength of the Ice race was extremely weak. In the previous battle, most of the Ice race's cultivators and the cultivator army they recruited had been sacrificed by the spirit of the second Devil Tower. With the Ice clan weakened, it was the perfect time for the Snow clan to deal with them. The 2 clans had a deep grudge against each other. The battle ended with the Ice clan's defeat. The Ice clan became the Snow clan's slaves. The Arctic tundra fell into the Snow clan's territory. At the celebration banquet, everyone toasted each other. From time to time, the higher-ups of the Snow clan would come to propose a toast to Lin Feng. They thanked Lin Feng for helping the Snow clan. If Lin Feng hadn't helped, many people would have thought that the Snow clan would have been destroyed. This time, the Snow clan would have been destroyed. Lin Feng didn't refuse anyone. He drank until he was dead drunk. He didn't even know who carried him back. When he woke up the next day, he still had a headache. He stayed in Snow City for a few days. Lin Feng planned to go to the Netherworld Sea. When he subdued the Snake Empress, he had her help him recruit soldiers in the Netherworld Sea. He didn't know how the Snake Empress was doing. The Arctic tundra was only a month's journey from the Netherworld Sea. It wasn't very far, so Lin Feng could go and see how the Snake Empress was doing. After leaving the Snow clan, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretical Holiness Saint flew towards the Netherworld Sea. Soon, they left the Arctic tundra and entered the boundless Netherworld Sea. On this day, the originally clear skies of the sea were suddenly covered with dark clouds and thunder rumbled. On the sea, huge waves rose to the sky. No one knew what happened.